Next question is, where do I find these creatures? Where do I find these creatures? We're going to talk about that today too. So where? And then we're going to talk about, a lot of times people want to know who these people are, okay? Who are these people? Like, why would they lend to me is essentially what they're asking. Who are these people? Why would they lend to me? And then another question I get all the time is, how? Right? How do I structure? How do I talk to them? How do I make them secure? How? Right? So we got the why, we got the where, we got the who, we got the how. Okay. And then when. I get another question that starts with a when, and that question is, when do I pay them off? Like, when do I actually pay them off? How do I pay them back, right? That question. So those are the 5 most common questions, and I'm going to answer it very succinctly, the way that I wish somebody taught me when I first started. I've paid for a lot of private money mentorships. Unfortunately, this is me as an individual. They all had tremendous value, but most of the time, the things that I learned from private money lending education that I paid for personally, I already knew, and the educator who I was paying, or the book I was reading, or the seminar I went to, was essentially just putting a stamp of approval on what I already knew and was already practicing and doing. And sometimes I actually felt like I knew way more than most educators on raising private capital. Now, there are a handful of people in the private raising private money world that are highly respected. They're amazing, and they deserve to be paid for their time and all their experience. Today, I'm just going to give you 4 hours for free. I don't teach raising private capital. I'm not an educator on it. I would say I'm definitely an expert. In fact, the way I know that is because the people who say they are experts, I actually know more than they are, or they do, and I actually raise more money than they do. Okay, so the first question we're going to answer is why? Why do I need a private money lender? So in the side chat, guys, please make sure you guys are active. We've got 485 people in here. Okay, over time today, this is a long journey. We got 4 hours with each other. We're probably going to be somewhere between 500 and 600 people because everybody shows up late. Everybody shows up late. Isn't that funny, by the way? Isn't that freaking hilarious that you have somebody like me? Yes, I'm going to be a little braggadocious. You have somebody like me that has all the experience I have doing a free Zoom with nothing to sell, and people, knuckleheads, show up late. You got to freaking love it. You got to love it. Okay. So why? Why do I need a private money lender? Well, let me show you a couple of deals of where I've used private money. Okay. And I will break down how I did the deals. Let's pull up a couple of addresses. This one's a great one. 2720 North Sterling. I've told this story a whole bunch of times. We'll pull it up on Zillow. This is a great one. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. The house just keeps going up and up and up in value, but check this out. All right. So here's a house. Okay. I bought this house, as you guys can see, on 11/26/2019. So how long have I owned this property in months? How many months have I owned this property, guys? Let's do some math here. It's at least 24 months. So 24, probably 20, about 30 months, right? Is that about right? Okay. 30 months I've owned this property. 28 months. Peggy says 28. Cool. So I've owned this thing 28 months. How much money in appreciation have I made on this, by the way? I bought this house for $372,788. Okay, $372,788. Let me take that note down real quick. $372,788. Most of the examples I'm going to give you guys today are creative finance examples because honestly, cash deals are boring. And if you guys are doing cash deals, have fun with that. But I'm doing primarily creative finance stuff. So this is a creative finance deal. I'll break it down for you in just a second. It's now worth $631,000. And I'll tell you, it's actually worth more than that. But that's just what my lame-ass neighbors' houses are averaging right now. Our house is so much better than all their houses. And I'll tell you why. Okay. Yeah, I got lame-ass neighbors. Okay, so first question I got for you is, why is this sold number? I bought it for a very specific amount of money. Why is that sold number so specific? Have you guys ever written a contract for $372,788? The reason why it is because I took over the mortgage, right? And that was the exact amount of money the mortgage was owed. So I took over the mortgage in a process called Subject To. It's my logo. It's the logo on the ground. It's all of those things. Diana, Christian, Samir, Chad, and Tech Chang, you guys all have questions, but I won't be answering any questions for hours, just FYI. That is the loan amount. I took over an existing mortgage. I didn't have to qualify. Okay, so this is a form of private money. Okay. This seller actually was my private money lender if you really think about it, okay? The seller didn't have any equity, okay? The seller did not have any equity at the time in 2019. This is a straight up SubTo deal, and I paid the seller basically nothing. I paid the agent $2,500, okay? And I took over the mortgage. Now, let's talk about the deal, and I'll tell you why this is so important. Everybody can see my screen, I imagine. Give me a yes. If you don't reply to my questions, I will call you out, just FYI. Okay, so $372,788. I bought this mortgage SubTo. Okay, this is not a creative finance class. Obviously, my students are in here. If you are one of my students, please raise your hand. Give people the deuce. Give them the peace sign emoji. Let everybody know who you are. Now, I took this house over Subject To. Dave, the seller, was in a situation where he couldn't sell that house. I gave you the address. I'm still the owner. You guys can pull up the verification that I am the owner. I'll show you even the settlement statement. Now, what I don't ever talk about is actually how I funded this deal. Because if you think about it, just because I took this house over free, that doesn't mean that the agent didn't get paid. By the way, this answers a question for you guys. A lot of people go, do you ever work with agents? Yes, I do. For the most part, most real estate agents I don't like working with because they are real estate agent minded. They're not real estate investor minded. If you are a real estate agent and you are in my lives or watching my YouTube or any of my content, I am not calling you out because you're here trying to learn about investing strategies. And most real estate agents that I call out will never even hear that I called them out because they're not watching content. They're sitting around waiting for a listing or a buyer to show a property to. These are not the agents I'm talking about, okay? There's a very big difference. Now, the agent ended up getting paid $2,500 for this deal because I took over a bad situation. The agent could not sell this house. So instead of them making $12,000 of their commission, I just paid them a finder's fee of $2,500. Now, the seller, he also... the seller, his name is Dave. He was willing to give me the house for free. Okay, and that's a conversation for another day. The seller's willing to give me the house for free, but I actually ended up paying Dave $2,500. And the reason being is because I wanted him to give me an unbelievable video testimonial. Dave has become one of my friends. It's also where this logo came from is Dave. And every time I have a SubTo party at my house, Dave comes to my house. Okay, so this seller is a great guy, great relationship. Now, what am I missing here, guys? What else am I missing here? I got the agent that needs to get paid. I got the seller that needs to get paid. I took over the mortgage, so I didn't have to get it. There we go. Ethan's got it. So closing costs. Okay, so I got closing costs in here. And the closing costs ended up being probably about $3,500 because I always pay for title insurance and lender insurance. Take note of that. What does closing costs mean? It means the people who do the paperwork, like the escrow officer, they get paid. And then I pay for policies. I pay for insurance policies. Okay. I pay for a title policy to ensure that the escrow officer did their job properly. I also pay for a lender policy to protect my private money lender. Cause I'm going to ask you guys this is going to come up later in the Zoom. Somebody's going to say, how does my private money lender get protected? How are they protected? Well, I just answered a small piece of that right now, and I'll go into depth a little bit later. But the lender gets an insurance policy when I buy the property. I pay for an insurance policy. It's called a lender's policy. Okay. Now, I pay for that. That kind of consists of that $3,500. Everybody understand what the $3,500 closing costs are, right? Now, the next thing I paid for is I paid for reno and furniture. Why did I buy reno and furniture, guys? reno and furniture, because I turned this into an Airbnb. Okay. Now, I've got good crews. I've got good people. I actually only ended up needing about 20, I think it was like 20,000 or some odd dollars. No, I'm sorry. I went for $15,000. Okay. Check this out. So I paid $15,000 for all of that. Didn't need a lot. Okay. Now, check this out. The $15,000 renovation and furniture plus the $5,000 here, that's 20. How much money is this? How much money did I need to get this deal done? $23,500. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. It's $23,500. That's what I needed. So how many people in here would want to do a deal and take over somebody's mortgage subject to and pay the seller, pay the agent, and own this house, and over the course of 28 months make $300,000 in just equity growth? But how many of you guys that say yes right now actually have $23,500 sitting in your bank account? Anybody? There's some people in here that some people don't, okay? So at the time and always, my mentality is always OPM, 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 OPM. What does OPM stand for, everybody? OPM stands for other people's money. And we're going to talk about why. Okay, where I'm going to get into why do you need, this is why you need private money lenders. Okay, I'm answering the question right now in a long form. Why do you need private money lenders? Okay, well, at the time, I'm like, I'm just going to go raise. How much money did I raise, guys? Take a guess. How much money did I raise? I raised $30,000. I raised $30,000. Now, why did I do that? Well, a couple of things. I obviously have my $23,000 that I need, right? But then I also was like, you know what? I'd like to pay myself $5,000 for putting this deal together and go buy some sushi and some lingerie for my wife or whatever. I mean, obviously that's not lingerie for my wife. It's lingerie for me, and my wife is just wearing it. But literally paid myself $5,000. I took over somebody's house and I paid myself $5,000. Okay. Now I had about $1,500 left over for the craps. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got $1,500. Something went wrong. I'm over budget, whatever. Do we all understand why I raised $30,000? Tell me yes. Okay. Now, what is this property doing for me right now? I raised $30,000. This investor, actually, they're not called an investor, guys. There's a difference between an investor and a lender. Okay. An investor, they are investing in you. A lender is lending money to you. There's a dramatic difference. I'll get into that later. Okay. An investor is more of a partner. A lender is a temporary solution. Okay. And they're more of like, there's an agreement in how they're going to get paid. So I went out and I got a lender, a private money lender. Her name is Sonia. How did I meet Sonia? I met Sonia at a meetup. So all you dumbasses that go to meetups and don't actually look for private money lenders, and you're just sitting there on your chair like, oh, what? Guys, don't go to RIAs. Don't go to meetups. Don't go to this stuff unless you know how to talk to people about getting private money. Okay? Christina just said the question I asked her. Here's the question that I ask when I go to RIAs or I go to meetups or even when I speak on stage at this point. Here's the question. There's two questions I ask. I want you guys to write this down because some of you knuckleheads are going to say, what do I say? What do I do? How do I say? Right? It's kind of like talking to a girl for the first time. Like, oh my gosh, what do I say? Right? Okay, two questions. My students all know the answer. Here they are. Question is, why aren't we doing business together? Right? So let's say I meet somebody for the first time, right? Let's say Russian Eskimo. I walk up to Russian Eskimo. He's always in the lives. Good to see you. And I go, hey man, what's your name? Hey, Pace, my name is Russian Eskimo. Cool, man. Let me ask you a question. Why are we doing business together? It's going to take people, they're going to go, wait, oh, what? I mean, obviously we came here to this RIA to do business. What do we got to do? Okay, this is the second question. I always say, what do we have to do to make money together? That's the second follow-up question. So what do we have to do to make money together? It's literally every time you guys, if you guys ever get behind closed doors and you're ever in meetings with me, or a lot of you guys that are going to the Clever Summit here coming up, you will hear me say this so many times to people like, hey, why aren't we doing deals together? Why aren't you selling me a deal? And I just put people right on the spot. Why aren't we doing deals together? I don't know. Maybe neither one of us have deals. Okay. Are you doing any private money lending? No, I don't have any money. Okay, great. Well, maybe we should go knock doors together. You basically are filtering through and figuring out what to do with every human being. Let me tell you guys something really, it's a powerful thing for you guys to learn, okay? When people are telling you who they are and what they do, most people are really only thinking one thing. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? Right. They're thinking, what can you do for me? That's what everybody wants to know. When you go to a meetup, what can you do for me? Here's the thing, guys. We're not going to church, okay? We're not going to church. We're not going to like college or high school where there's all this social bullshit that you have to filter through. We are going to a real estate meetup, or we're going to a seminar. We're going to these places, okay, that are very specific. People know why they're going there. So when you're asking these questions, it's okay for everybody to have this thought process of what can you do for me? And then at the same time, what can I do for you? And so that question that I throw out is a very, very, LT just said it, okay? Okay, LT just said it. I saw LT at a meetup 2 or 3 weeks ago. By the way, SubTo students, we are having a party at my house on Thursday night. Last time we had like 220 students, like a lot of people flew in from out of town. So we are having a party at my house Thursday night, tacos, drinks, all that kind of stuff. My kids will be swimming. If you guys have kids, bring your kids, all that kind of stuff. Yui Win, fly out, bro. I'd love to see you out here. So I met Sonia in a meetup, and I literally was like, why aren't we doing business together? She's like, what? She's like, what's your name? Literally, I asked her that question before she even knew my name. And I said, my name is Pace. She's like, oh, okay, cool. I go, why aren't we doing deals together? She's like, oh, I don't know. I'm working on deals and da-da-da-da-da. And so you just strike up a conversation, okay? There's 3 things you're always looking for. You're always looking for money, you're looking for deals, or you're looking for people to help you with those deals. Title agent, transaction coordinator, those are the only 3 things I'm ever really looking for, right? Money, deals, or people to help me with my deals. That's it. Okay, so that's how I met Sonia. So I raised 30 grand. Sonia wired her money. Where did she wire her money, everybody? Where did that money go? Let me give you guys something very important for you guys to understand. I don't care who teaches you this bullshit, but if you wire money to somebody's personal bank account, imagine that money's gone. Never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, wire money to somebody's personal bank account or their business account. Never, 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 never under any circumstances do you ever wire money to an individual or a business. You have to have the title company or the closing attorney, depending on what state you're in. Atlanta, closing attorney. Arizona, title company. Same thing, just different, a little bit different legislation. So send money to the person handling the transaction and get a receipt. So if you are a private money lender of mine, I see a handful of my private money lenders in here, you will never, ever see money come to me as an individual or even my company. Now, people who have never raised money before might be asking the question, well, how do I get the money? Pace, you paid yourself $5,000 on this deal. How did you get the money? Okay, this is how it works, guys. Here's the deal. Okay, here's the seller. The seller and I open escrow at this is the title company, by the way. Okay, seller's there. This is me, right? And we're in contract. Here's our contract. Big old fat C. This is our contract. Well, the title company, they essentially are abiding by the contract, the purchase price, closing date, all that kind of stuff, okay? And then they always ask the question, who's paying for this? Okay, they always ask the question, who is paying for this transaction, right? These girls, they're usually girls. You're very rarely, sorry, I'm not trying to be misogynistic. I'm just real. Most of the time it's an escrow officer because women are actually organized, men are stupid. And you typically have women inside of a title company or an escrow officer, escrow office will say, who is paying for this? Okay. And the answer always is, for me, my private money lender. So my title and escrow companies never actually ask. They never actually ask who's paying for this. They ask which private money lender should we reach out to? Do you see the difference? What happens? Because my title and escrow company, that's not what they ask. They just know that's how I do business. Okay. They know that's how I do business. All right. Now, they say, which private money lender? So what I do, this is very simple. I go, it's Sonia. Call Sonia. And so Sonia and the title company communicate. The title company gives her information. What information do they give her? They give her wire info. And then Sonia wires the money to the title company, and the money sits at title until the transaction is closed. Okay? A transaction is closed. That is when everybody gets their money. So in this transaction, Sonia paid her $30,000. It sat in title. Okay? Sat in title. And then what happened is, one, seller got paid, right? So the seller got their $2,500. Two, the agent, knucklehead agent, couldn't sell the house for 6 months. $2,500. Third thing that got paid for was closing costs. That was about probably $3,500, something like that, I think. And then four, me. The remaining balance went to me. So I actually ended up receiving a large chunk of money. Okay, so all of this gets dispersed. That gets dispersed to the seller. Okay, let's minimize this. So this money gets dispersed to the seller, right? Literally through a wire transfer. So the seller, Dave, he received a wire transfer of $2,500. The agent receives a wire of $2,500. Is this helpful for you guys? For people who have never actually seen how a deal gets done? Is this breaking it down very simply for you guys? Okay. So the agent that we close escrow, the transaction's done. The title company then disperses the funds. Okay. And the agent gets paid. I should have never even paid that agent, to be honest. But I did it because I wanted to be nice. Closing costs. Where do the closing costs go, guys? Where do they get wired to? They don't get wired because they stay at the title company. The title company is holding the 30 grand that was sent to them from Sonia, my lender. Okay. How do you vet a private money lender? You don't vet a private money lender, bro. You freaking, what do you mean? How do you vet them? The way you vet them is, do you have money? Come on, bro. Oh, by the way, that is a great question. Never, ever, ever. I already given you a couple of never evers. Here's a never ever. Never ever wire money to, if you are a private money lender, a lot of my private money lenders are in here. If you are a private money lender, never wire money to anybody besides a closing attorney or a title company. Okay. The second thing you should never do is if you are borrowing money from a private money lender, no private money lender will ever ask you to send money to them. Never, because that's a scam. We had a student named Paige who got scammed $15,000, and I actually refunded her the money. One of my dumbass students, I'm not going to say her name, total knucklehead, referred a scam artist lender unknowingly, had no idea that this was a scam artist lender, to one of my other students, Paige. And Paige clicked on the link. It went to a website, and the website basically said, hey, we'll fund your deal. You just have to give us a $15,000 funding fee. She wired $15,000. It was a really sad story, actually. Here's the story. Paige joined my mentorship in 2020, October, okay? She was able to, through doing lease options and some Airbnbs, she was able to quit her nursing job in like 4 or 5 months of being in my mentorship. Then after that, she started accumulating a good amount of capital through, her cash flow. She got about $15,000 saved up. And then she goes, I'm going to go do a fix and flip. So she gets this link from one of my knucklehead students. I shouldn't call him a dumbass because at the time I didn't have the 10 rules of SubTo. And now inside of our SubTo community, there's a rule: never promote somebody else's product ever, 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 unless you're willing to cut the check for another student's loss. So we have a very protected community. But what ended up happening is Paige goes into the private Discord channel and says, hey, I need a lender for this specific fix and flip. So one of our other students, trying to be ultra helpful and loving, found a lender in another fake ass Facebook group and goes, oh, hey, I saw somebody over here using a lender, and here you go, Paige. I've never used them. Good thing she said, I never used them before, but here's a link. Guys, don't freaking do that. Don't ever promote a product, a service, a lender, or anything that you haven't personally used yourself. You will never see me do that. If I promote a product or a service, I'm using it in my business and I stand by it. And if one of my students says something like, I promote Prime Corporate Services all the time, and my students know if they have a problem with Prime Corporate Services, I will personally call the owner and get it fixed. That is the only type of thing you should promote. Well, guess what happened? Paige, her name's Paige. She goes and wires 15 grand to a lender, a fake ass lender. And that lender stole her money, $15,000. And it was all the money she had accumulated since quitting her job. So I did a surprise Zoom with all my students where I laid out the 10 rules of SubTo. And I personally wired 15 grand to Paige to make her whole. And that is the first and last time I will ever do that for anybody in my community, because now I have a rule in my community: never share a product, service, lender, or otherwise that you haven't personally vetted yourself. Okay? So do not ever, if you have a lender that says, yeah, send me a funding fee, where if for some reason, if you find a lender and you have to put a down payment on the loan, which we'll get into a little bit later, you guys want to hear that. You guys want to send that money where? Where do we send all money? Where do we send all money? Always goes to title. Always goes to title. Always goes to title. Never, ever, ever, ever. Okay? And you people that get scammed by these people that are like, yeah, send me a funding fee. Guys, you deserve to get scammed. How dumb are you? Why are you sending money to individuals or companies? Send it to a title company. This is why title companies exist. They verify funds. They verify who owns the property. They verify who everybody is. That is why they get paid closing costs. These closing costs, part of the closing costs, if you guys remember, some of you knuckleheads that showed up late, I'm actually paying for title insurance with these closing costs. I'm paying insurance on my lender. I'm paying insurance on the transaction. I'm actually paying an insurance policy, which we'll go through it here in a little bit. All right, so what happens is $30,000 gets funded by a private money lender, Sonia, in this situation. That truly was my lender. I meet her at a meetup. I told her exactly what I told her. Okay, so Dave gets paid, the agent gets paid, the closing company, closing costs, they don't get wired. They just stay at the company. That's their money for doing the transaction. So I end up, let's see, what did I end up having? What were my closing costs? Did I say 3,000? Oh, 3,500. Okay, cool. So what's left over, guys? What's left over is essentially, let's see, what is that? How much is left over? How much did I wire to myself? I could bust out my calculator. $23,500. Okay, cool. So I received $23,500. It gets wired to me, literally to my company. And my company that owns that house is PJ Morby. Actually, no. Let's see. You guys want to see which company owns that? Let's find out. I don't even know. Isn't that funny? Let's find out. So here's how you find out who owns properties, okay? Check it out. This guy, this is a magical thing. I don't even know who invented it, but look at this. Look at this, this thing. It's called Google, okay? So let's go to Maricopa let's see, Maricopa County Assessor. Okay, let's go to the assessor. And let's go to, let's see, their main site. And I'll do a little search over here. I think there's a search bar somewhere. Where's this search? Okay, right here. Boom. Perfect. Let's see, do I have one? Okay, 2720 North Sterling. Oh, look who the owner is, guys. Isn't it amazing you can see who actually owns the property? Okay. Now, I had a really smart person set up my corporate structure where you guys will not be able to see my name on any of the corporate documents. If you guys click here, let's go through it. Let's see. Well, that's a corporation commission, I think. Let's see. Owner. Let's go to the APN. Okay, so you guys can go through. There's my address. There's the sales price. I bought on that day, all that kind of stuff. So where did the money get wired to for this deal? Who did it get wired to? Did it get wired to me personally, or where did it get wired to? Okay, no. It was already sitting at title, guys. Guys, it was already sitting at title, you knuckleheads. It got sent to Saguaro Cactus Holdings, the company I just showed you, right? I just pulled it up on the website. Okay, it went to Saguaro Cactus Holdings. That's one of my holding companies. Okay, I went to Saguaro Cactus, of which I have a bank account. And what did I do with it? Now I've got $23,500 sitting in this account. Okay. It's not profit first, guys. Whoever said profit first, this is not profit. So this is Stephen Shedd. This is not profit, bro. This is money I need to go and actually do the renovation and put the house together. It's not profit. So I wouldn't use profit first breakdown. Okay. I renovated and furnished the house. I did two things. I sent $6,500 of it to my personal account, PJ Morby LLC. By the way, if you guys ever put money in your personal account, consider yourself fired. You don't know how to move money around. You're a knucklehead. $15,000 went to my Airbnb manager who handled the renovation, the furniture, etc. Okay? Noah Hoffman. Noah manages my stuff. Okay? Now, I will show you, like anything I show you guys, I will never give you examples unless I show you real proof. A lot of people will give you guys a whole bunch of examples and all that kind of crap, but they'll actually never show you real stuff. So let me show you something really tasty. This one's kind of cool. This was on March 10th. Let me do a little screenshot of this and do a screen share for you guys. Is this helpful to get you guys like screen shares and show you guys all this kind of stuff? Or should I just talk at you like all these other dumbasses that teach this stuff? Okay, here we go. This is honestly the way I wish I was taught, to be truthful. Okay, so here we go, March 10th. If you look here, let's make this a little bit bigger. If you look here, this is Noah texting me. How much money did March book for me? So this, let's see, Jeff Winston booked how much for 27 nights? How much did this house bring in? Can you guys see that? How much money did I bring in for 27 days? Okay, come on, guys, look at it. Pay attention. Okay, so I, of course, say, holy smokes, that's like $10,000 net. Not bad for a free SubTo house. Also, that house has gone up $300,000 in equity. Pretty dope, right? Okay, cool. Russian Eskimo, did I pay for that house? Have I ever once paid for that house out of my pocket? Did I ever use my own personal money? Did I do anything with my own money? Okay, so is that technically a free house for me? Did I use any of my credit? Did I use any of my credentials? Did I use any of my own cash? Russian Eskimo, let me unmute you for a second. Let's make sure you understand what this means. You're not one of my students. Russian Eskimo, how you doing? Russian Eskimo. Okay. All right. So here we go. He didn't answer, so it's all good. This is a house I got for free. I took over somebody else's mortgage subject to. I funded the $2,500 to the seller. I funded $2,500 to the agent. I funded the closing costs, all of my renovations, and I paid myself $6,500. I got paid $6,500 to take over somebody else's house and turn it into an Airbnb. Okay. That house last month generated $14,000 in revenue on Airbnb, $14,000. You guys just saw the proof. Okay. Now I netted $10,000 on that deal. So have I answered the question of why we need private money lenders? Are we all like very clear on why I need a private money lender? Okay, I could go through literally 10 more examples, 20, 50, 100 more examples just like this with very specific detail breaking it out. Now, let me ask the next question. When did I pay off Sonia? And how did I pay off Sonia? Let's break this down. This is very simple for you guys. This is very important for you guys to understand because now here's what I have. I have a loan at Wells Fargo because I took over Dave's Wells Fargo loan. And my payment to the Wells Fargo loan is $1,900. Okay. Okay. That's the SubTo loan. I pay it every single month. I've been paying it. Now, I also had a payment to Sonia. Now, I paid Sonia 10% simple interest. Okay. What does simple interest means? It means I'm simply paying her interest only. Okay, so even when I make her a payment, I still owe her the same amount of money. Shannon says, I'm lost when it comes to Wells Fargo. Well, because probably don't know what subject to is. That would probably be a problem, right, Shannon? Shannon, let me jump on and see if I can answer that question for you, okay? Shannon, how you doing?
I'm good, Pace.
So you don't understand what subject to is. That's the problem?
No, I get the gist of it. Usually Mark, my husband, is the one who pays more attention. I'm usually the one to deal with the kids.
Okay.
When it comes to Wells Fargo, let me see if I can make this.
It's a great question, by the way. I'm sure there's other people in here that don't understand it as well. So I want to make sure I explain it properly.
So when you take over his loan and the conversation between you and Wells Fargo.
I didn't have a conversation with Wells Fargo.
Okay. So let me back up.
I literally never once have spoken to Wells Fargo on this house and I've owned it for 30 months.
Okay. So where I guess I'm confused at is when you start making the payments to Wells Fargo, how does that work?
I literally go into Dave's login and I make the payment. Let me ask you a question, Shannon. How do you pay your car payment?
Online.
Okay. How do you pay your house payment?
Online.
So how do you think I paid the Wells Fargo payment?
So you just basically get his login information and paid from there.
It's so simple. And I love this question. I know I'm sounding very terse and I'm making you feel maybe stressed out by the way I'm answering, but I'm trying to be so strong with this. I can go into anybody's login, right? And pay anybody's bill for them. Could I log in right now to your bank, right now to your car, your loan, your power bill, anything and pay it with my credit card?
Yes.
So what's stopping me from doing that for Dave's Wells Fargo loan?
Okay, then nothing. That was kind of where I was confused. I'm like, wait a minute, how does that work? But you've explained it, so.
Simple, right?
Yeah.
It's so simple, it causes people brain damage. They're like, there's no way it's that challenging. Or there's no way it's that easy, right? So it legitimately is that easy.
Okay. That's kind of where, when you wrote that down, I was like, well, how does that work?
Okay, cool. Got it. I love that. I love the question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pace.
Yes. Guys, you have questions like that. And if I get on your ass, just so you know, I'm getting on your ass because I want you to get the answer to the question very quickly. And I'm going to put you through a little bit of a pressure cooker for a second and make you feel a little stressed out just so you go, oh my gosh, I got to pay attention, right? Okay. So let's see here. A couple things. Let me just make sure I do a couple things.
NDIVI.
Got to mute everybody again. So sorry, guys. Now, does everybody understand that? Okay, I bought this house subject to. This is not a creative finance education, okay? If you are not learning SubTo, then you're a knucklehead. You're not going to be able to do this. Go learn subject to. Okay? But I took over his Wells Fargo loan. He was willing to let me take over his loan for multiple reasons, which is another story for another day. Okay, now my agreement with Sonia was 10%. Okay, my agreement for Sonia was 10%. And I will, guys, I'm going to break down very simply for you guys some really cool stuff. I made this stuff up specifically for you. So if there's 718 people in here, congratulations. You guys are going to get some incredibly amazing stuff. I haven't even begun. Okay. This is warm. This is not even foreplay yet. Okay. So, Russian Eskimo, will you please get off your ass? And when I come to you and I ask you to unmute yourself, will you actually unmute yourself so I can actually have a conversation with you, you knucklehead? Russian Eskimo.
Hello, Pace.
There he is. What do you got?
Curtains. Revealed myself.
Russian Eskimo, are you an Android user?
No, I'm an Apple user.
Come on, bro. We know the truth. Come on, brother. Tell me what's the question. What you got? You asked me a question about the other payment. Tell me about the other payment.
So, okay, what was my question? I can remember. The question was, so like, where do we get the rest of that cash you pay them? So we take over the loan, and then we get like a private money lender to fill in the gaps, or to use my investor loan.
Hey, knucklehead, did you show up late?
No, I was on time.
You were on time, but you have a question of where the money comes from, even though I went through this entire sheet right here?
No, not that. I'm saying, how do you structure, like, between PL, the private money lender, and like the the mortgage, like splitting them?
I don't even understand your question. You're so overthinking this. Do you think I'm paying off the loan?
No, you're taking over the loan, I'm guessing.
Okay, I'm taking over the payments. The seller's name stays on the loan. Okay. I have the deed, which means now I'm the owner of the property.
Okay.
Okay. Every month there's a new payment due every single month, just like any other loan, right? $1,900. So I go into Dave's account and I pay that $1,900.
Okay.
I'm waiting for a question, Russian Eskimo.
All right. So another thing I wanted to ask was with the private money lender.
Mm-hmm.
So they usually are for gaps, right?
No. They can do gaps, but they can do 100 different things, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you every type of deal that a private money lender can fund. So what you're thinking about right now, Russian Eskimo, is you're thinking about a cash deal because your brain is around cash, right? So you're thinking, I go get a hard money loan from myinvestorloan.com, and then I go get a private money lender to fill in the gap.
Exactly.
That's not this deal, dog.
Mm-hmm.
This is a subject to deal. It has nothing to do. I would never use a hard money lender here. I just took over somebody else's loan. Why do I need to go get a loan to pay off Dave's loan? Dave's just letting me take over his loan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you understand that.
So you're taking over the loan. I'm getting that portion.
Okay, then why would I need my investor loan at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Russian Eskimo, do you have a car? Do you have a car, Russian Eskimo?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a car payment?
Yep.
Okay, so would it be possible for me to have you put the registration in my name, and I could get car insurance in my name, and I could start driving your car, correct?
Yep.
Could I also just go to your bank? Who's your lender on that deal?
It's a DCU.
Okay, so could I just go to DCU and make your payment for you?
I think you can, yeah.
Okay, the answer is yes. No, I think's it's either yes or no. Is it yes or is it no?
It's yes.
Okay, so do I need to go get a loan in order to pay for your loan?
No, you could just take it.
Right, so why does my investor loan need to get involved in this transaction with me and Dave?
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for the aha.
So you just take it.
Yes, it's that simple, dog.
Jesus.
Why are you overcomplicating this, man?
I don't know. I was seeing other videos. They were saying you have to get some gap funding for this, and then
You're mixing two transactions, okay? Now, you showed up late. You had to have, or you haven't been paying attention, because there's no possible way you don't understand why I had Sonia. Why do I have Sonia? What do I need Sonia for? If the seller's saying just take over my payments, what do I now need Sonia for, my private money lender? Why do I need her? I've literally been talking about this for 52 minutes.
it's for that gap,
It's for all of my costs, right? I call it my entry fee. I'm going to enter into this deal. Now I've got to pay the seller $2,500, right, to walk away. The agent, $2,500 to walk away. Closing costs. Paying myself, because I can pay myself on taking over a free house, and then paying for furniture and renovation where I don't have to come out of pocket any money, right?
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. You're overthinking everything, dog. I promise you, you overthink everything.
Oh, so the private money lenders for the back fees and the entry fees, just to get it correct.
Let me tell you what a private money lender pays for. Everything you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Write that down, dog.
I'm actually going to do that.
The private money lender pays for everything you don't want to pay for. That's what they pay for. So when you ask me, well, what's a private money lender for? Paying for shit I don't want to pay for.
Okay.
Okay. Are you getting now, when I'm terse with you and I'm intense, it's intentional. It's not because I'm angry. It's to get you to get the point very quickly.
Yep.
Okay. Did this help?
Helped. I'm just overthinking this thing.
No shit, dog. Every question you ever ask in all my lives is an overthinking question. But I love them. They're great. But that you are a classic overthinker, bro. Do you know why most people are successful?
Why?
It's because they're dumber than you.
Mm-hmm. So they don't overthink shit.
They don't even have an overthinking switch in their brain, bro. Your overthinking switch is on all the time. Homeboy.
Yeah, that's why I had analysis paralysis for the most.
All day long. I'm telling you, do you guys ever meet dumbass people that have a lot of money? I have.
Yeah.
And my wife and I all the time are looking at people like, how's that guy making money? He's so stupid. Homeboy wears 2 different color socks. His clothes don't match.
Mm-hmm.
He has hair coming, his hair, I'm not sure where his ear hair stops and his neck hair begins. The hygiene issues and these weird people don't even have an overthinking switch. So the reason why I get intense with you guys on a Zoom is I'm trying to reach through this Zoom right at you and turn your switch off. I'm trying to turn your switch off. That's why I'm so intense on these lives.
And by the way, the PML is second position, right?
Always second position. We're not going to get into first and second position for probably another hour.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you, Pace.
Well, no problem. That's my job. My job is to get intense with you so I can turn that switch off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And you did that. You exactly did that.
Pace, do you have a Zoom sort of video on how to actually structure the SubTo and breakdown? Yeah, if you're one of my students, that's what my whole mentorship is for, guys. We're not going to get into subject 2 today, please. Go work with one of my SubTo students if you're not able to get into my mentorship, please. Don't turn this into a subject 2 education. Trying to teach you guys raising private capital, and y'all are now excited about subject 2. If you aren't learning subject 2, then frankly, you're stupid. You're trying to do everything with cash. Congratulations, you're going to lose. I'm here for private money too, okay? Can I go over a sub-tool I just locked up and get your pin on it? No, you cannot. That's not what the Zoom is for. I'm sorry. Are you guys okay with me just being a little bit terse today? Make sure we stay on topic. Everybody's always trying to take my attention away. All right, so here we go. So here's this deal. On this deal, I took over a Wells Fargo loan subject to, and Sonia, I paid 10% simple interest. So the question is, when do I pay Sonia back? Okay, well, it depends. Okay, when do I pay Sonia back? It depends on my structure. Okay, write this down. Write this down, because no matter how many PowerPoints you watch, no matter how many books you read, no matter how many seminars you go to, no matter who you pay to teach you about private money lending, the private money lender and you are who determine the structure on every individual deal. I've probably raised close to $100 million in my lifespan as a real estate investor, and never one time has the structure ever been the same. Length of time, amount of percentage, how they want to be paid, whether they want to be involved in the viewing the deal. Like, I have lenders, check this out, guys. I have lenders that want to be in my Slack channel, and I have other lenders that couldn't care any less. And I'm going to show you guys all this stuff. It's going to be great. Check this out. So I'll show you a lot of our active deals we have going on right now. By the way, not a lot of investors are going to show you how many. Look at all these active deals we have going on. Look at all these. Okay. So you guys think you're learning from the right person? Here's a deal right here on Diamond Street. We're making about $140,000 on this one. It just closed, I think. Our final settlement statement was like a couple days ago, but it's closed, okay? I don't know when it was closed, but it should have been closed a couple days ago. There you go. It got D-staged. We did stage this when it's D-staged. So some private money lenders want to be involved in my deals, and they want to see the back end. Some private money lenders couldn't care any less. Some private money lenders want to be paid on the first. Some private money lenders don't want to be paid any money. They just want to actually have a private money lender that doesn't receive a payment every month. What she wants is she wants to take that money and roll it into another deal every month, so it compounds and compounds and compounds. I have another lender that wants to be paid twice a month. She wants to be paid first part of the month, half of her money, second part of the month, the other half of her money every month, because she wants to treat it like a paycheck. Guys, when you ask me a question of how do I structure private money, is there such thing as a perfect structure that everybody follows? Have I sufficiently answered that question? Can I move on to another topic and you guys don't ever ask me a question of, is there a perfect structure? Now, I will show you structures, but every lender is different, every deal is different, and my exit strategy is different on every single deal. Sometimes I'm going to hold the property for 20 years. Sometimes I'm going to hold the property for 5. Sometimes I'm going to hold the property for 3 months. It depends on the deal, okay? Now, on this particular deal with Sonia, what I did is Sonia said she wanted her money in 12 months. Okay, she wanted her money in 12 months. Why? Okay. The reason why she wanted it is because she's a swimmer. You guys are like, what the hell's a swimmer? This is officially the only time I've ever mentioned this, ever. Even my students don't know this because I just created this morning. Check this out. You guys are going to see something so sick today. It's going to be so dope. You guys won't even believe it. I created this. I woke up early this morning at 3 a.m. and I created this for you guys. This, by the way, there is a replay of this, but it's only for my students. I'll be putting this into the SubTo student vault. Just FYI. And here is my little, let's see here. Let's do a little screen share on this. This is going to be part 1 of probably a 7 or 8 part series for my students. So check this out. I've got 5 different types of lenders. I've got a whale, I've got a dolphin, a swimmer, a shark, a gator, and a camel. I'm going to break this down for you guys in about an hour. I'm going to tell you guys where to find these people, who they are, etc. I actually have a very specific topic. So check this out. The swimmers, this is what a swimmer wants. Teach me how to do it. I want to get involved. I wish I was you, but I want to learn by doing. I want you to teach me how to swim. Typically, it's 10 to 12% simple interest, never amortize. You guys don't know what amortize means. A lot of people don't know what amortize means, but I'll show you. They get no ownership. It's always short term. And they want to be on their own one day. You guys want me to break down these personalities and who they are and what they want and all that kind of stuff? Nobody teaches this shit. I've been in every mentorship around raising private capital. Nobody breaks down personality types ever. Okay? Yara. See, Yara is one of my lenders right here. Yara, can I unmute you, Yara, for just a second, please? Because I would just want to have everybody hear your voice. Okay, Yara is one of my swimmers. Hi, Yara. She's trying to figure out how to. Are you there? There she is.
I am. Hi, Pacey. Nice.
Hi, how you doing? I love and appreciate you.
I love you too. Sometimes I think you don't.
I'm a busy man. Everybody thinks that I don't like him when I'm busy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, good to be busy.
It's always good to be busy. I appreciate you tremendously. So Yara, you loaned money to me, not because you wanted to keep your money with me for a long, long time. You loaned money to me because you said, I don't want my money being killed by inflation. Mm-hmm. I want to get a monthly check because I think my monthly check I was giving you at the time was paying for your living expenses because you had just retired from your job, right?
Yes.
And then you also said, I want to see what this looks like. I want to be involved in a transaction. I don't want to just talk about real estate. I want to be involved in real estate.
That's right.
Until when? Until you could find your own deals to put your money into. Is that right?
That's right. Exactly.
So I provide, as a real estate investor, I provide a tremendous value to somebody like you, Yara. Is that correct?
That's perfect. Yes. And I appreciate that.
I'm trying to, there's a lot of people, we got 750 people in here, Yara, and a lot of these people will believe that they have no value to a private money lender like yourself.
They do have value because just being here, I connect with so many people and so many big fish there. Big fish in the SubTo community have reached out to me. Some were very genuine, some were not people that I would do business with. I have a great deception there with one of them. Mm-hmm. And we keep learning.
Love it. So you enjoyed lending money to me for a while. We developed a relationship. We had a friendship, but that friendship will go on forever. But the relationship on money lending doesn't go on forever with people like you and me because you want to go and do your own deals. Is that correct?
I do. And if I could keep lending to you, doing both, I would be happy.
Yeah, you could always do both for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, you could always do both. So guys, typically when you're in a live like this, you're in Zoom, you're going to run into a lot of private money lenders. In fact, I probably have a good $2 or $3 million of people's money right now in the side chat. I have an abundance mentality. Okay. If like Yara, for example, Yara, if you came on my lives and I talk about your name, what happens? Everybody wants to talk to you, right?
Exactly.
And that seems counter to.
I put a post there, and in less than 1 hour, I got 105 requests for being friends. But
see, I have an abundance mentality because I will let you guys know who my private money lenders are. Do you want to know why? Because no matter who you are, no matter what you do, there are more than enough. There's more than enough private money lenders out there to share across. Abundance is everything. The reason why you guys come to me on Sunday morning and you want to learn from me is because I'm not a fake guru that's just making YouTube videos about raising capital. I'm actually doing it. Well, one of my private money lenders is on my Zoom with me right now on a free Zoom. Okay. The reason why you guys show up is because of the way I operate. Okay. So, I operate with abundance so that we have an abundant community. All right. Now, Yara, thank you for coming on here. I appreciate that. That was awesome.
Thank you. You have a good day. I'm still here.
Yara, no matter how frequently I talk to you or don't talk to you, my heart always beats partly just for you. I love you.
And I love you too. And I hope to see you in Vegas.
Of course, you will see me in Vegas. You'll give me a hug in Vegas. It'll be great.
Yes, I will.
All right. So check this out. So Sonia is a swimmer too. Okay, what's a swimmer, guys? We just broke that down, right? What's a swimmer? A swimmer is somebody who wants to do this themselves. They want me to teach them how to swim. So what they do is they get into my Slack channels, okay? So like if you guys ever loan money to me, you would actually be part of a real transaction. You would see the way things are unfolding. You'd see why we choose these cabinets and what's going on with that. You'll never see my name in here. I'm too busy doing stuff. But this is our Slack channel, right? This is what it looks like. You want to learn what Anna's doing and where we're spending money and how things are being decided on. And here's a mold inspection report and lab results. And hey, there's a framing issue here. This is something that a lot of lenders come to me for. And they go, I want to feel what it feels like to be in an actual deal. Okay. I want to be in a deal and I want to get a check from you every single month. And so Sonia, okay, let's work out, what did Sonia receive? Okay. What did Sonia receive? If she loaned $30,000 to me, if Sonia loaned $30,000 to me, what was her monthly payment on that deal at 10% interest? And now it's $3,000. No, guys, it's not 10% monthly. That's 10% yearly return, okay? 10% yearly. Okay, so she was receiving $250 per month. Now, was I paying down her payment or what I owed her? Or was it just interest only? It was interest only. So every single month, I paid her $250 every single month, okay, for 12 months. Now, my average house, this house, right? So I have this house. It's an Airbnb. It's 2720 North Sterling. You guys can see this house. I bought it subject to. Now I have a Wells Fargo loan of $1,900 a month. Okay. And then I also have Sonia payment of $250. And then I have miscellaneous, right? Like utilities, landscape, blah, 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 blah. Let's say of like $1,500 of, and that's like repairs and maintenance and, you know, damage and whatever else. Okay. So my monthly cost, right? My cost every single month of this is roughly, let's see, $3,400, $3,650. Okay. So my cost for this house is $3,650 per month to run this Airbnb. And my average income on this property, okay, my average income on this property is $10,000 a month over the course of a year. Now, this last month, I brought in $14,000, okay? That's a higher end one, right? Sometimes I'm only bringing in $6,000 or $7,000, okay? Now, if I'm bringing in $10,000, if my average income is $10,000, everybody tracking me on this? Everybody tracking me on my average income on that property is $10,000. Okay. So I'm going to take out $3,650 a month on that deal. I showed you guys the address. I showed you the proof that I own it. I showed you the text message from my Airbnb operator that we brought in $14,000 last month. We're all on the same page. This is not a fake example. This is real shit. Okay. This is like half of my deals are like this. Okay. So then I'm bringing in, what is that? $6,350 per month on average on that deal. So you guys answer me. How am I paying Sonia back? How am I paying Sonia back? There you go. From the cash flow. Okay. So you have a couple options. One, the first, how to pay the lender back, how to pay the lender back. Okay. The first way I can pay a lender back is one, from my cash flow. Okay. But what if my cash flow is not as strong as this particular Airbnb? Well, I can do a refinance later down the road. Now, let me ask you guys a question. If I do a little screen share with you, let's go back to Sterling and let me do a screen share and let me ask you a question. If I structured this deal with Sonia to refinance, could I refinance right now and pay off this old loan right here plus Sonia's money of $30,000 pretty easily? Okay, I would actually end up having a cash out. If I did a cash out refinance on this one with like the company we use, for anybody that wants to know, we use a company called myinvestorloan.com. Okay, myinvestorloan.com will give me a loan. Let's say that I have a $630,000 house, which is what that's worth. And let's say they give me an 80% loan with no money out of my pocket, 80% loan. How much money will I get out of that cash out refi? How much money will I get out of that? So $504,000. I'll have a new loan. So this will be my new loan. What'll happen is let's do this a whole process again, knuckleheads. My investor loan wires $504,000 to who? Who do they wire that money to? They wire it to a title company who's handling my refinance. Out of that $504,000, okay, they're holding the $504,000. Guess what happens? The Wells Fargo loan that I have of $372 ends up getting paid, right? And then Sonia, my private money lender, ends up getting paid her $30,000, plus she already received payments along the way. So essentially what's going to happen is, how much money will I have after I paid off Wells Fargo and I paid off Sonia? How much money will I have in my pocket? I'll have $102,000 in my pocket. Pretty dope. Are you guys following this? Have we answered the question sufficiently of how to pay your lender back and actually not have any money come out of your pocket on the deal? All right. Have you guys ever seen somebody talk about raising private capital and how it breaks down as simply and easy as this on an actual deal? All right, cool. So there's the refinance. What's another way I could pay off the private money lender? Check this out. A lot of people won't tell you this, but I could replace that lender with another lender, right? So let's say Sonia gave me 12 months and I go, you know what, in 12 months, I'll find another private money lender. Could I replace Sonia with another private lender? Okay. I could do that. Now, here's the challenge. A lot of you guys have fear. Right? You have a lot of fear because you're new. Do you think you'll have more private money lenders in a year or less private money lenders in a year as you're taking action and being involved? You have a lot more, right? You'll have a lot more. I mean, just show up to my Zooms and you'll find some private money lenders. By the way, for all of you non-SubTo students that are out there like trying to learn on YouTube, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for you guys. There's no, like, you're on YouTube, you can't communicate, you can't hang out with people in the side chat, you can't be on a Zoom. Like, you are missing a very key element in your education process, and it's community. If you don't have a community that's helping you out and doing deals with you, oh my gosh. Today is one little taste of our community. You guys got to get tapped into a community, wherever it is. Like Amy, who came on Wednesday and was teaching private capital, I know she has her own community. Like, get tapped into a community, okay? Don't be one of these knuckleheads out there on YouTube. YouTube is for entertainment. If you guys ever see my seller calls or my deal breakdowns, guys, that's entertainment. You want to get educated, you got to be in live Zooms that go on for longer than an hour, longer than 2 hours, longer than 3 hours, because that's where real education sets in. You have to set the foundation. Do you guys see why I'm teaching you the way I'm teaching you? I'm not just going to bombard you with information. I'm going to do it slowly, give it to you. I'm going to ask you to repeat what I'm saying before we move on to the next topic, okay? So now, what's another way that I can pay off my lender? Tell me, what's another way I can pay off my lender, guys? Sell the house. I love it. Good job. Great job. I could sell the house. Okay. There you go. O'Shea, I like that. You could owner finance. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. This is stuff I teach my students long-term, but I could, sell it on owner finance to somebody else. I would never do that, but you could do that. A lot of people successfully do this and like this. Anna, we already did cash out refinance right here. Okay, Cole Black, owner finance is a wrap. It's the same thing. Sell the note. Yeah, you could sell the note if you really wanted to. I would never, I'll put it on there, but I would never do that. It's not an intelligent thing to do with that investment. Can you SubTo a SubTo? No, that's called owner finance. Yep, you could do a lease option, but your lease option tenant is not going to pay you $30,000 down. So a lease option is not really going to work out. A lease option, if they pay you $30,000 to cover Sonia's fee, that's not a lease option anymore. You're now owner financing that, and you have inferment of ownership, and that's a legal issue that you don't want to run into. Yep. So there you go. Those are 6 primary ways to pay off that lender. Okay. Everybody understand how I'm paying off the private lender? Okay. I want to get 800 yeses in the side chat. If you're not replying yes, okay. Boom. There we go. There's something different, guys, when you participate in a Zoom instead of just sitting there and consuming content. Okay. So for all you late knuckleheads that showed up, I'm not going back and answering these questions again, but have we sufficiently answered why? Why do I need a private money lender? Can I do a deal literally with no money out of my pocket? Not only no money out of my pocket, but can I do a SubTo deal where I pay myself up front from somebody else's lending to me, structure it in a way that I'm into the deal, no money out of pocket, let the property appreciate, let the cash flow come in, use the cash flow and the appreciation to ultimately pay off that lender. And now I don't have that lender anymore. Okay. Do I have Javier? That's a non-SubTo that's a SubTo question. I'm not going to jump into that. I'm very sorry. You need to, if you're a SubTo student, you need to jump into the SubTo stuff and answer that question. This is not a SubTo Zoom. Okay. How do we help new private money lenders set up an SDR if they need to get money from it? Typically your title company will do that for you. I hate that I came late. How much is the course? I'm not selling a course, O'Shea. There is no course. My course is sold out. There's nothing for me to sell here. You have nothing. Miles says, how do I be your private money lender? If you guys want to be a private money lender of ours, I'll give you my personal email. I don't know if that's a smart idea, to be honest. Yes, only SubTo students will have access to this recording. I'll give you my personal email. I just put it in the side chat, guys. That's my personal email. Do not email me things about you're going through a divorce, you're going through a hard time, you need some personal advice. I'm not interested in that. I get it all the time. Okay. I really do. I get people asking me all sorts of like issues. I don't want to know any of your issues and your struggles and your like all that kind of stuff. That's why I teach 30 hours a week. I'm doing the things to help you guys get through it by taking action. I can't give you personal advice. So please don't ever email me personal questions. If you guys are interested in becoming a private money lender of ours, we have a big multi-family project that we're working on right now that's very exciting, and I'll kind of break that down. Arnie Newton, guys, am I like not speaking English? I am not teaching you guys creative finance on this live right now. You guys want me to continue to teach you private money lender, or should we just turn this into a creative finance Zoom? Arnie, do you think I can go and break down a novation agreement conversation while I'm teaching private money lending? Okay. Thank you. I like this question, Kyle. Please, Kyle, guys, don't send me private messages. Please, Kyle, will you please re-put that in the side chat? Don't send me private messages, you knuckleheads. Put it in the side chat. Okay. Who was that asked that question? That was a great question. Claudia, I just told you that you can't become a SubTo student. It's sold out. I'm sorry. I'm going to put my email in there one more time. If you guys want to become a private money lender of ours, the email is right there. It's sitting right there. Okay. It's in the side chat. Okay. Okay, cool. So we've gone an hour and 20 minutes. I've really answered why do I need private money? Okay. I've also answered where I got Sonia. Okay. I also answered when and how do I pay them back? Okay. Have we answered that? Okay. Yes, guys, SubTo is sold out in like the majority of areas. If you guys, there's a handful of cities that it's open in, but the majority of cities are sold out. If you guys go to, hey guys, hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Please don't make any comments. Nobody make any comments for just a second, please. If you guys go to that link to see if there's an opening in your area, the majority of places are sold out. Okay. Jonathan Newsom had to make that comment right when I did that. Jonathan Newsom, thank you so much. So guys, if you guys are looking to, oh my gosh, you knuckleheads. Okay. This is why we can't have nice things, guys. We spend the majority of the time dealing with knuckleheads all the time. All right, cool. Have you guys, how much value do you guys think you've just learned in the last 80 minutes? Cool. Now, I just broke down a deal that I did subject to, I brought in $30,000 of somebody else's money. They funded the sellers getting paid, the agent getting paid, the closing costs getting paid, my furniture getting paid. I showed you how I paid them back. Okay. So let's jump into some other questions, and I'm going to break down. Actually, here's what I'll do. I'll break down what are these types of lenders. I'll show you guys some personality style. Okay. Personality type. Okay. You guys cool with that? How do you build their trust? We won't get into that for a little bit. We'll get into that maybe in 2 hours. Okay. Let's go into this. All right. So you guys ready for this? All right. So let's go to the first type of personality. Okay. The first type of personality is the whale. Okay. Now, you guys are all, these are all water creatures, and you guys are understand this when I get to the bottom one, but you guys are, we're all going to just teach water creatures. Okay. Now the whale, I'll give you a good example of a whale. Actually here, you guys want a whale? I'll give you the contact information for a whale. How about that? I don't use them anymore, so I don't care. You want the whale lender? Please, guys, please don't send me private messages. Learn how to use Zoom. My gosh. Learn how to use Zoom. It's 2022, guys. Zoom was like blew up a couple of years ago. All right. Okay, here we go. Let me give you a lender. That's a really great one. I actually typed him in as a 7% lender. Let's see if he's in here. Where is he? I'll give you his contact information. Dang it. It's been a while. Oh, there he is. Alex. Ooh, yes, baby. Here we go. Found him. It's been a bit. I haven't used him for a couple of years. But I'll share his contact information to you. Here you go. Alex Cohen, 3 to 12% lender, sometimes hard money, sometimes private money lender. He is going to get a lot of text messages. Okay. He owns a company called Imperial Tile. Okay. Screenshot this. Use him. He doesn't have enough money for you guys. Don't bother him unless you have a deal. Don't be stupid. Don't be one of these people that bother people without a deal. Okay. Alex Cohen, right there. There's his phone number. There's his office address, and he owns a company named Imperial Tile. Now, why am I showing you guys him? Why am I showing him to you? Well, because I want you to understand that this is a personality type, okay? He's a whale. Why is he a whale? Because he's big. He has a lot of money. He owns other businesses. He's a businessman. So this is his mentality. Leave me alone. Pay me my returns. And I actually have another lender. I will not give you his name because I actually use him still. His first email to me was this. He says, Pace, I'm not in the business of making money. I'm in the business of preserving my money. Okay. So here's what they want. These are big people. These are people that own businesses like me, but they're older. They're not looking to chase down deals. They're not looking to be involved in the management. Do you think they want to be involved in my Slack channel and seeing what paint color I'm using? Do you think they want to know what cabinet style I'm choosing? Right? All they're trying to do is beat out inflation. Okay? Pace, what kind of lender is it best to use for an apartment complex? April Moreno, please be patient. Please be patient. Let me go through my presentation. I worked hard on this. I promise I did. I know you guys don't think I worked that hard, but I promise I worked really hard this morning at 3 a.m. I promise you'll get value. Okay. So what happens is, whales. Okay. These are people that are somewhat retired, but still want to play in the game. Okay. Rarely amortized. Okay. Amortized. What does amortized mean? It's a very simple process. Okay. What does amortized mean? Amortized means it gets paid down over time. So as I make payments, it's kind of like a car loan. That's an amortized loan. A home loan is an amortized loan. Okay. These loans get paid down over time. So my payments actually slowly pay that down to zero. Okay. That's amortized. It's a stupid word. It's a stupid ass word. I don't know who came up with it, but that's what it means. Amortized means it's over time, it pays off. Okay. Most lenders are not amortized. Most lenders are interest only. They just want interest. Simple interest is what we call it. Simple interest. Okay. Keep it simple. Pace. I primarily pay it like Paula, one of my private money lenders, says Pace works very hard. Thank you, Paula. I hope you're coming to Vegas. I want to see you in Vegas. That'd be great to see you there. Okay. So I pay Paula simple interest, thousands of dollars every month. I pay her simple interest. I don't pay her amortization. Now, why don't they want to be amortized? Why do they not want to be paid down? Because they want a good return. Okay, they want a great return. Now, Alex Cohen will sometimes do a long-term amortized loan, but for them, they don't want to deal with it. They just want simple interest. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? 800 people staying strong. I almost feel like I should lock out the Zoom at this point. Rarely amortized, no ownership. They don't own the deal with me. Sometimes it's long-term, sometimes it's short-term. Here's the problem with them. Here's the two problems with these types of whales, okay? They're not going to go in second position for you. So it's not going to be great for subject to deals and seller finance deals and Morby method deals and things of that nature. And the worst part about Alex, this is why I don't use Alex anymore, is this guy is slow. And when I got a deal, if I call like Paula Finlayson or I call Yara or I call one of my other lenders, they jump on it. They fund the deal quickly. Even though Paula lives in Brazil right now, she funds the deal quickly. She gets things done. So would you guys say that my lenders are typically whales? Now, where do you find these people? Okay, I'll show you where we find these people. This is you guys want to see how to find these people? Okay. You guys honestly don't. The problem with this is I'm going to tell you, and you're going to be like, really? There's no that's not magical. That's not magical enough, Pace. Most of the stuff that you say is magical. This is not magical. Guys, first step, take notes. Where do I find these people? Anybody that owns a business, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, etc., that are too busy to be real estate investors themselves. Typically, they're a little bit older because they don't have the same hustle and grind. They kind of are like over all that. It's not that they lost energy. It's just that they've been through it, right? They've been through it, so they don't want that, okay? How much does each personality type lend? The whale, okay? The whales typically have $50 to $100 million net worth. They have a lot of money. They'll lend massive amounts of money. I never ran out of Alex's money, never. And I did a lot of deals with him. Never once ran out of his money. Okay. Does that help you understand the whale? Does anybody have any specific question about whales? Specific question about whales. Don't ask me a question about like a novation agreement or something. Okay. Anybody? Okay, hold on there. Let's see. Pace, have you ever had a whale use a 1099-A as a form of payment? Yes, I have. What do whales care about the most? Cody, I've already answered this question, but I'll happily answer it again. This is what they care about right here. This is their care bucket. Leave me alone. Pay me my returns. I'm not in the business of making money. I'm in the business of preserving my money. I've just answered that question for you. That's their personality type. That's what they want. Have I answered that question properly? Why are they slow? Tyson Davis, you tell me, why do you think they're slow? You must be a young kid, Tyson, because you don't understand what it's like to get a little bit older. I found myself this morning looking at the vines growing all over my house, and I was like, I would have never cared about this as an 18-year-old or a 25-year-old or a 30-year-old, but now I'm, nearing 40, and I'm like, those vines are beautiful. Man, I live in a paradise. The older you get, the more your desires and everything changes. Everything changes dramatically, okay? So the older you get, you focus your time and your energy in other places, okay? So when whales get big and they have a lot of money, do you think they care about every individual deal and like trying to make a big chunk of money on every little deal? Or are they kind of at a point where they're like, you know what? I just kind of want a safe return and I want to do it with people that I really think are awesome. That's it. Okay. You are not going to find a whale that's worth less than $1 million. Okay. What about crowd funds? Russian Eskimo, bro, you need a knuckle sandwich for lunch. That's what you need today. Jeff says, my kids are teasing me all the time because I point out my appreciation for trees. Yeah, I can tell you're not 18 years old. Have you personally used a whale to take over a large portfolio? Yes, I have. Those vines are nice on the house. Thank you, Tanisha. Okay, cool. All right. Does everybody understand what's the length of term a loan they usually want? 1, 2, or 3 years. So they'll do both short-term or long-term, but what they prefer, pay attention to this, guys, because this is so hard for you to understand. And I don't have time to ramp up to like, make sure you understand this. They don't want to deal with paperwork. They don't want to deal with rigmarole. They don't want to be dealing with you turning over their money so frequently that you guys know what happens when I'm going to walk you through the paperwork here in about an hour, maybe in an hour and a half. But the paperwork is annoying, especially when you're worth a lot of money. You've got a lot of things going on. You want to spend your time chilling by your pool, vacationing, traveling, doing things, building other businesses, whatever. Do you think that you want to be bothered by a mobile notary coming by and stopping by? Because every time I borrow money from a lender and every time I pay off a lender, guess what I have to do? I have to do paperwork to receive their money, and I have to do paperwork to send them their money. And that paperwork verifies that they signed, they're okay with everything. That means they have to meet up with mobile notaries. Do you think a whale really wants to have me turning his money over every 3 to 6 months? No. Their personality type, they look at I'm going to break down the dolphins, the swimmers, and the sharks, and some alligators, some other personality types. Dude, the alligator, the crocodile, essentially, they're okay with turning their money every 30 days, okay? The whales, they don't want to be bothered with that. They move slower, okay? Safer returns, slow. They just move slower, and they're just bigger, okay? They don't want to be bothered with paperwork, okay? Is anyone else here 18? A lot of people here are 18. Okay. Nancy, she's a mobile notary. So Nancy, do you ever go to private money lenders to pay off their notes and their deeds of trust? I'm sure she does all the time. Okay. Are we all, okay, so where do we find these people? I'm going to show you a couple places to find them. First place I find them is anybody that owns a business. So we have a couple of students in our mentorship that are just business owners that joined our mentorship just to lend money. One of them is a Chick-fil-A owner. He owns 2 Chick-fil-A stores, makes $1.6 million a year in net income to his family. Do you think he's a good private money lender? Yeah. He doesn't have time. He's running 2 Chick-fil-A stores. Do you think he has time to find deals and manage projects and deal with realtors and mobile notaries and all that kind of crap? Or do you think he's like, I want to be in real estate, but I don't want to be in real estate? Do you guys understand the difference in the personality types? They want freedom. They want to double down. Steve Allison says yes, and he's a great guy. Okay. Now, next person. Actually, I don't want to jump into the next personality style. I want to show you guys how to find these lenders. Okay. I want to show you guys a very simple way to find these lenders. Okay, let's go to, oh, cool, diamond. All right, so let's see here. Sorry, guys. My wife sent me some cool stuff, and I want to show it to you guys here in a little bit. I'm going to show you guys what notes and deeds of trust look like and paperwork. You guys excited? Do you guys feel like should I just end the Zoom right now? It's been an hour and 40 minutes. I think that you guys got enough value, right? Should we just be done right now, or should I feel like I'm just getting started. Okay. Now, oh, by the way, did I tell you guys we're going to give away $10,000 today? We're giving away $10,000 today. Did that. We gave away a car last week on Wednesday, a $12,000 car. We gave away $10,000 to Christina. I wired the money to her, showed you guys the wire transfer. We're going to give away another $10,000 today as well. So that'll be pretty cool. All right. So we'll get to that later. It'll be probably the last thing that we do. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys how to find a private money lender. Okay. Oops, my bad. How do I get in there? All right, well, this is going to take me a second. Sorry, guys. All right, cool. So I've got there's a piece of software. I'm going to show you guys how to find private money lenders in just a second. Okay. And I will show you guys exactly how to find private money lenders in just a moment, but I need a login page for something. I'm waiting for somebody to show me something. Okay. So let's go to the second personality type. All right. Second personality type is going to be, do we all understand the first personality type? All right, cool. So here we go. First personality type is a whale. Second personality type is a dolphin. Okay. Very different personality type. They actually want to be involved. They're very playful. Okay. A lot of these are doctors, lawyers, stuff like that haven't really reached the point of being a whale yet. They really want to brag to their friends. Do you think the whale brags to their friends about lending money to you? But the dolphin does. Okay. This one is so interesting. I'll show you guys exactly how to find these people. It's very interesting how to find these people. So, typically they're a little bit, higher interest rate. Okay. 8 to 10%. They want simple interest. It's never amortized, which means it never pays down. It's interest only. Okay. It's interest only. They get no ownership. They will do both long-term and short-term. So long-term is usually 5 to 7 years. Short-term is 3 to 12 months. They're fast. They fund deals very fast. Okay. They're agile like a dolphin, which is why I named them the dolphins. They're very talkative. They want to talk to you. These are long-term relationships. These are people that you just love for a long, long time. These are amazing people. A couple of places to find these people. Okay. Write this down. Okay. I'll write this down for you. This will be great. Okay. You guys don't even know this. Okay. Number one, the first place to find these lenders is from my sellers. Okay. Have you guys ever watched Wholesale Hotline where I bring in Desiree, my private money lender? Anybody seen those episodes where I bring in Desiree? I found her by buying her house wholesale. Okay. She sold her house to us on Wolf Street and she gave us $110,000. I'm sorry, we bought the house for $110,000. Now it's sick to my stomach that I sold that house for $110,000. It's probably worth $350,000 right now. But she received $110,000. And what did I ask? Check this out. Yui Win said the same thing. My seller is my private money lender on the house I'm buying from her. Pretty cool, huh? John Harkar says the same thing. That's exactly how I got my first lender. Now, for those of you who are not, okay, Ryan Peterson, same thing, says we have $200,000 at 12% from a seller too. What are you going to do with those proceeds? That's the question. There you go. So Desiree, I asked Desiree the question, what are you going to do with the money? What are you planning on doing with the money? Have you guys ever watched my seller calls where I actually ask sellers, like, what are you going to do with the money? It's a trained mechanism with me. Okay. Now the problem is, how many people in here are not marketing to sellers? Okay. You are not marketing to sellers. And so that's a problem, right? You're maybe working with agents, dummy real estate agents, and you're working with other people that have no ability to communicate with a seller. You're going to be kind of screwed in that situation. You're not going to be able to talk to a seller about their private money because you're not talking to sellers. You're talking to realtors who don't have any money, unfortunately. So you're not going to get money that way. Okay. But a really great way to find dolphins are your sellers. Okay. Another way to find these people. Okay. You guys have seen me bring my lenders on here. Another way to find these people. A lot of times you'll go to meetups. Okay. Third way to find them is having a podcast. Now, you guys all think, this is an interesting thing, you guys all think that people that are running social media campaigns and they're on social media and all that kind of stuff, they're just trying to get attention. You're right. We are trying to get attention. We're trying to get eyeballs. Whose eyeballs are we trying to get? We're trying to get 3 people's eyeballs, okay? 3 people's eyeballs I'm trying to get every single day. I'm trying to get 3 people's eyeballs every day. I'm trying to get lenders, private money lenders. I want to bring private money lenders into my world, and I want to go do big projects and do cool things with them. Second thing I want is I want to recruit employees or business opportunities. Okay. And the third thing that I want is I want deals. Those are the 3 things I want. So when you guys are not utilizing Instagram or social media or podcasts or YouTube, or you're not coming into side chats like this, you're screwing yourself because you're second guessing what people are going to think about you on social media. Okay. Get a podcast, get a YouTube channel, post on Instagram, get on TikTok, do funny things. That truly is one of the greatest things you can do to find lenders like the dolphin. Okay. Now, there's a really great book that teaches some of this stuff. I already knew this, but when I read this book, let's see, Raising Private Capital. There it is. Great book. Matt Faircloth has now become a recent acquaintance and becoming friends with him. But check it out. Raising Private Capital. This is a good book. And if you read this book, it's about chapter 6 that it starts picking up, but he has a whole chapter on, look how highly rated this is. It's a great book. Okay. I would suggest getting this book and reading it. It's about chapter 6 that it starts actually educating you on things. Hold on. Am I screen sharing right now or no? I'm not. Sorry. There we go. So this is the book, Raising Private Capital Using Other People's Money. Okay. Really great book. It's by Matt Faircloth. And he has a couple of good chapters in there about social media and how that's now the new business card. So like a lot of you guys will think that, you guys want me to teach you a really great strategy? It's very simple. Anybody can do it. Even you dumbasses that don't use social media. If you don't use social media, type in the word dumbass. Congratulations, you've played yourself. You have screwed yourself. I mean, you have, guys. Social media is the currency of our generation. Your business, guys, I haven't had a business card in 6 years. If you are printing business cards and flyers and doing that kind of stuff, you guys are screwing up. Oh my gosh. Use social media. If you are not using social media, you are dumb, 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 dumb. In fact, here's the word you should type in. If you are not using social media to gain either deals, recruit employees or business partners, or private money lenders, type in the word irresponsible, because that's what you are. You're irresponsible. You're an irresponsible business owner. You're not taking yourself seriously, and you're not utilizing modern era techniques to further your business. Okay? You're freaking irresponsible. That's what you are. Write that down on a piece of paper. Write it down in your notes. You are freaking irresponsible. Irresponsible. People are like, I hate this guy. So there's always 10% of people that watch my stuff that just hate me because of the way I teach, but it's true. You guys are irresponsible if you're not using social media, okay? Now, let me show you another thing that's pretty freaking dope. You guys ready for like a super ninja tactic? All right, check it out. So my wife sent me a screenshot. I would be nowhere without my wife, by the way. Check this out. Let's pull this up. So this morning I sent her a text like 5:52. I was like, hey, can you pull up a house of ours that has 2 lenders on it? I need copies of deeds of trust for a house with more than 1 lender. Okay. So my wife goes to SmartView online. Okay. She found this house that we just sold. This is Frank West Capital. This is our hard money lender, and you can click on that. I'm not going to click on that because that's a hard money lender. That's easy. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then Deborah Stevenson, one of my private lenders, an individual. Okay. She said, you sold it last week, but it's the first one that comes to mind. So check this out. Watch how simple this is. Public record shows these documents. This is public record, guys. Okay. When recorded, look, official records. Check this out. Guys, official records of Maricopa County Recorder, Stephen Ricker. Hey, I'm on a Zoom with 800 people. Was that a good call? Give me a couple hours. Okay, bye. Sorry, guys, that was Cody Barton, my partner. Okay, so can we see that this is recorded on Maricopa County records? Every county does this. There's not a county in the country. Listen to me. Deborah Stevens is in second position. Some of you guys don't know what second position is, but I will teach you what second position is. Can I find second position lenders online with public record? Did any of you guys know that? Did anybody actually know that you can do this? So when people say, where do I find lenders? Where do I find private lenders? Guys, it's on public record. Go to your county recorder's office and pull up every house that has a second lien position on it. Okay, so this is my lender. Here's her document. This is the deed, and this is the deed of trust. This is what gave her security. We'll get into paperwork and all that kind of stuff in a little bit. But this is what gave her security, was this deed of trust. And here she is. That's Cody signing and saying, yes, we're going to pay her back. But this is how you can pull up. Let's see. Does it show how much she gave us? Let's see. Oh, yeah. There it is right here. This deed of trust is given for the purpose of securing, right? Check that out. $60,000 we borrowed from Deborah Stevenson. $60,000 from Deborah Stevenson. Okay. Now, do you think it's pretty easy to now find? Look at this. Equity Trust Company, custodian, FBO, Deborah Stevenson, IRA, Westlake, Ohio. Could I maybe skip trace Deborah Stevenson? And could I maybe find Deborah Stevenson? And I could say, hey, I saw you loaned money on this house on Diamond. I'm looking for a private money lender. I feel like have you guys fallen asleep? This is not valuable anymore. I honestly should just finish the Zoom right now, because if you guys ever say you don't need social media, you could just go here, right? You could just go to public data. That's my private money lender is on public data on every deal I've ever done. My private money lenders are on every deal. You guys can pull up every house I give you and you can find my private money lenders. You can find out how much interest I'm paying them. You can find out the structure in which I'm paying them, because the agreement, which is the note and the deed of trust, are recorded on county records everywhere. All 50 states, it's recorded on all 50 county recorders' offices. So if you ever ask the question of how do I find a private money lender ever again, what would you call yourself? Would you call yourself a knucklehead, a dumbass, lazy, you showed up late? Is there any possible way that you could ever say you can't find a private money lender? It is on public record. Every state, every county has public record of people's security on real estate. Okay? I'm trying to get you guys to understand this by being really terse with you. This is not my normal personality. This is my personality when I'm talking to a free Zoom, people that have never paid me. I don't know how, most of the people that watch YouTube, like in my YouTube lives, man, no offense to them, but they're like all just consumers of content. Okay. They're so used to, bro. Okay. They're so used to just consuming content, you don't actually learn anything. So I'm trying to get you to stop, pause for a second, and think about this. Where can I find private money lenders? I've never found a private money lender at a golf course. Never once. I'm a member of a golf course. I'm a member of Mesa Country Club, and I've never found a private money lender there. Now, those guys are private money lenders, but they don't want to be bothered. You think men go to the golf course to be bothered by other men about lending money? No. Larry Fitzgerald is a member of my country club, and he's the nicest guy in the world, but his body language says, leave me alone. I'm here to get away from all the bullshit. I don't want to be around my wife. I don't want to be around my kids. I just need a couple of hours to myself. Do you think men want to be bothered about money on the golf course? No. No. People think that that's where you find private money. Country clubs is not where you find private money. Okay? People say chambers of commerce, but I've never raised money from chambers of commerce. I've just given you some of the greatest places to find them. Let me see if I can find one. Let's see. Hold on. Let me call Molly real quick. When I go to the Deal Automator website, it's like it wants me to sign up for a new account. Is there a login page somewhere that I can go to? Will you send me an actual link? Thank you. Bye. Okay. Now here's the thing. I'll show you a couple of different personality types, but most of the lenders I have are not who you guys would think they are. Okay. Most of you guys are probably thinking like these people are worth, what would you guys say the average private money lender I have is worth? Just throw a number out. How much do you think my average private money lender is worth? Interesting. I'd say my average private money lender is probably worth $150,000 to $500,000. Legitimately. You guys are overthinking the private money lending situation dramatically. Like, you guys think that when you guys, and this is why I'm doing this is a mindset shift for you guys. Everybody thinks of a private money lender as this. I have 2 private money lenders that are whales, 2. I probably have 30 or 40 that are dolphins. Okay. People that are like, hey, I don't know that I ever want to be like a investor, but I want to be active. I want to brag to my friends. You know, I'll stop by the projects every once in a while. You know, these are doctors, lawyers, engineers. These are nurses, stuff like that. Now, the swimmer is where the majority of my private money lenders came from for a very long time. Okay. Swimmers, right? Because I'm going to RIAs, I'm going to meetups, I'm going to places where other people are trying to invest. But the problem with most people trying to invest is they might have a little bit of money, 20, 30, 40, $100,000, but they're like, I can't find deals. I don't know how to find deals. I don't know how to talk to sellers. I don't know how to get an acquisition person. I don't know how to get a house under contract. I don't know, like all that kind of stuff. Has anybody ever felt like, I want to get into real estate. I have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, but I don't know how to get my hands into a transaction? That's typically a swimmer. That's somebody who's like, I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of paying for education. I'm sick of being on YouTube thinking it's teaching me anything. I'm sick of reading books and going to seminars or doing all that kind of stuff. I just need to put 30 grand or 50 grand or $100,000 into a deal. That is a swimmer. Because what they learn is they learn by doing. They learn by being in a transaction. This is where most of my private money lenders come to me. They come to me for a temporary period of time. Okay. A retiree is typically not a swimmer. They are typically a dolphin. They don't really want to do it themselves. They just want to be active in it until their friends are doing it. Okay. That's a dolphin. A swimmer is somebody who actually is going to come in, say, teach me how to swim, and then they will leave. They're going to leave you. Okay. Every one of my swimmers leaves me. Every one of them. Might be a year, might be 2 years, it might be 3 years, but every single one of my swimmers ends up learning how to swim and leaving me. Okay. So I get a lot of people. I'm going to give you guys my email. If you guys are wanting to be a swimmer with us, there's my email. You guys can also be a camel with us. I'm going to tell you what a camel is. Okay. The swimmers are in the deal. They're in my Slack channel. Okay. This is what's kind of cool about swimmers. Let me do a little screen share on the Slack channel for anybody that really wants to understand this. So the Slack channel, if you guys are in my deal, let's see, what's a deal that we're actively, let's see, where's Coolidge? Here, Coolidge, this is a good one. Okay, so cool. Oh, this one's almost done. Cool. So you'll see like inspection reports. You'll see the way that our team communicates. You'll see my wife in there all the time. Here she is, by the way, 30-day-old baby, and my wife is in here cranking. Who has excuses? Not my wife. Holy crap, this looks insane. There's no way this is the same freaking house. Oh, it's the wrong, why did she, oh, that's Diamond. Sorry, Coolidge. There we go. Way different house. This house was on the TV show of Triple Digit Flip. Jamil and I walked across this pool. It was so full of trash. And look at the plumbing getting done. You guys can see the way my team communicates. You can see the way we manage our finances. You can see my bookkeeper in here. You'll be, if you were a swimmer, okay, in one of our projects, you would be one of my lenders attached to this deal. You would actually be, if I pulled up all the people on this deal, you can see who my lender is. Okay. Oh, Debbie Lou. Debbie Lou's my lender here. So right here, Debbie Lou. Is Debbie in here? Debbie, are you in here? She might not be in here. Who knows Debbie Lou? Okay. A lot of people know Debbie Lou. Debbie Lou has loaned me millions of dollars. Now, it doesn't mean she has millions of dollars. It's just that she's been into multiple transactions of mine. So Debbie Lou lends money because she's like, I don't have time to find deals like you guys do, but I want to be actively involved in deals. No, $20,000 is not too small of an amount of money to be a private money lender. No. Okay. We have private money lenders that fund $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So again, if you guys are wanting to be a swimmer, You can be a swimmer on our team. You can learn how to swim. You can be involved in the deal. Just send me an email and I'll put you in touch with Molly. Okay. I thought Tony counts as a private money lender. I messaged her. Apparently she's Dawn. She's not a private money lender. She's my bookkeeper. She runs all my books. You'll see her in every one of my transactions. She runs bookkeeping. Okay. She makes sure that all of our lenders get paid. She's not a lender. She's a person that pays the lender. Okay. So do we understand what a swimmer is? Okay. All right, cool. Now, typically with a swimmer, they just want, you know what? They're super sweet. They wish they were you. This is what their desires are. Teach me how to do it. I want to get involved. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of, wanting to sit. I'm basically sitting on the banks of the river, wishing I was in there swimming. Teach me how to swim in the river so I can just get involved. They want to learn by doing. Who's a learn by doing type of person, right? Now, usually we're paying 10 to 12% interest. That's simple interest. It's not being paid down. It's interest only. They get no ownership. It is always short-term. They never really want to do long-term, and they are okay with second lien position all day long. Debbie Lou is in second position on that deal. Okay. Let's see. They want to do their own. They want to do their own thing one day, and that's why they're lending money to you, so they can be in it. They just want to learn. Okay. That's the swimmer. Cool. Now, next person is the shark. Okay. They're already doing deals. Okay. They're already doing deals, but they don't have enough deals, but they have a lot of money. So they're going to come in, they're going to move and shake. They're already doing real estate. They're smart, and they're hungry. They want what's on your plate too. Okay. Interest is really not interesting to them because they understand the person that makes the majority of the money is the person doing the deal. So what do they want? Guys, I'm a shark. Okay. I don't lend money to people because I have more money than I have deals. Okay. So I'm not really going out there. For me, I'd rather just find more deals than lend money to you because I know how to find deals. But if somebody comes to me and goes, hey, I want you to lend money to me, I go, great, give me ownership and equity plus 12% interest. It's typically short-term and they want control. Okay. They want control. Now you guys are going to have to learn how to differentiate these people by having conversations with them and say, what are you looking for? What do you need? What do you want? Okay. This is a shark. These are people that are active real estate investors that are actively doing deals. Once they get a taste for blood like a shark, they just want more of it. Okay. So what happens is a lot of times these swimmers turn into sharks over time. Okay. That's my job. When you are lending money to me, you start out as a swimmer. I teach you how we do what we do. And one day you leave me and you end up starting to lend money to other people and you gain equity in other people's stuff. Okay. But you need to know how to be a private money lender properly. And when you finally do learn how to do it, you become a shark. Okay. And shark is not hard money, by the way. Sorry, Gary, it's not hard money. We're not talking about hard money today. Okay. Tech Chang and a bunch of people have their hands raised. Do you guys have specific questions as it pertains to raising capital? Because if you don't, I will cut you off in the middle of your sentence. Tech, how you doing?
I was typing in their pace that I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Awesome. Chad?
Appreciate it.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. I am a newer student of yours. I'm very thankful to be a part of your SubTo program now.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. The first deal that I got was thanks to yours and Brent's video on door knocking.
The pre-foreclosure?
Yeah.
That's a great video.
Yeah, I got a $93,000 deal from that. So thanks.
No way.
Yeah.
You got a $93,000 deal from Brent and my, it was the pre-foreclosure mastery in 2020.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I'm actually doing a podcast with him in a couple weeks. I've got so many I've got multiple deals under contract, made 34,000 just in land stuff last month. And
amazing.
And you'll have to excuse me. I'm watching my 2 kiddos. So,
oh, it's all good.
Might get a little wild, but, so anyway, I just haven't actually had a chance to say thank you. I've been apart for about a month. So
how's it been? You enjoy being part of the community?
Oh my gosh. It's the best in the world.
It's indescribable, honestly. Like, it's impossible for me to describe the SubTo community to people who are on the outside. They think it's like some fictitious world that I've made up, but it's definitely not.
No, it's incredible. So super thankful to be here. Thanks for taking my question. I came in, raised my hand first because I've got about 4 deals under contract right now, 6 total, but 2 are closing this week. A couple of them I'm going to need, several need some private money. So I just had a quick question about that. Hopefully that's okay.
Yes, of course.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I have a private money lender, like one who's a family member, has a lot of money, and they don't really want to fool with like sending me wires and short-term stuff. Part of my problem has been, and I've got a banker as well. He's actually wanting to like send me clients because he wants to learn from me. And as a result, my biggest like bottleneck right now. And sorry if my kid's crying in the background.
I got kids, bro. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I love them. They're wonderful. But my biggest concern is trying to understand how to structure, like how to present it to them. Like, for example, like a family member's like, yeah, can I just like give you $100,000 and then, you pay me interest on that a year and do what you want with it. And I'm like, okay, that could work. But there's this thought process that I don't understand. Like, well, if some of that's illiquid and I put it into something and they want their 100,000 back at the end of the year. So I just don't really know how to set this up because I'm talking to a banker and he's got private money relationships. I might offer him, I don't know, like a % or something just for bringing it to me. Cause I'm in this mode where I'm like, I'm already creating such a tax burden on myself. And after watching your videos, I'm realizing, wow, that's really stupid to keep wholesaling when I could keep stuff. So that's brought me to my next problem, which is private money. And my only problem right now is I don't know how to sell it. I don't know how to sell it, like come to them confidently and know what I'm going to do with their money. I know where to put it, but I don't know how to structure it.
Okay. So Chad, let me pause you for a second because you're asking 5 different questions. You think you're asking 1. Okay. So first and foremost, you don't sell private money lenders. They either want to lend money to you or they don't. You heard Yara a little bit ago. Do you think I had to sell Yara on lending money to me?
No.
Okay. So if you ever feel like you have to sell somebody on lending money to you, then they're not a private money lender.
Got it. What I more so meant was,
I know what you meant. I know what you meant. I'm just trying to close that word off for 830 people watching.
Got it.
We don't remember. I'm talking through you to 830 people, right? I'm answering your question, not just for yourself, but 830 people. So let's close the word sell a private money lender out of our vocabulary. I know that's not necessarily what you meant, but I'm just making sure that that is addressed before I move on for everybody else. Guys, do we sell private money lenders on bringing money to us? Or do you think I had to sell Yara on lending money to me? Do you think I had to sell Debbie Lou or Paula Finlayson or other people that are in this side chat on lending money to me? That's not what we do here. Okay, there's a tremendous benefit to these lenders, and I haven't gone through the other personality types, but I'll show you a couple of different personality types here after I answer this question. Did you mute yourself? You muted yourself. Oh. Raise your hand again. So we don't sell private money lenders, okay? So the conversation here, Chad. Chad, did you mute yourself on purpose because your kids were being rowdy?
Yeah.
Okay, bro, you don't need to worry about that. I got kids too.
Okay, all right.
Okay, what happens is when I unmute you, I also lower your hand so you're no longer at the top. So then I'd have to go filter through 830 people to unmute you again. You know what I'm saying? So just keep yourself unmuted. You're fine.
Okay.
Okay, so here you have somebody has $100,000. Okay, so the structure. Listen to this, everybody. 832 people. The structure of the deal is determined by the deal itself and the desire of the lender. Okay, so do you know what the desire of the lender is?
Yes, doing as little as possible. Here's 100,000. Pay me 10% and do what you want with it.
Okay, interesting, because you just told me the structure of a deal, and you're asking me how to structure the deal.
Well, if I take that 100 and put it in multiple deals, I'm concerned about the liquidity and being able to pull that money out and giving it back if I have it spread out over 10 different deals.
Okay. The reason you're feeling that way is because you're new to raising private capital. So let's remind ourselves the ways I pay people back. One of the ways I pay people back is either from my cash flow, right? I could also refinance, or I could even replace that lender with another lender. So do you think it's plausible that in the next year that either A, your family member is going to enjoy receiving this check every single month, that they'll actually enjoy keeping their money involved with you, even beyond the year they're thinking? Do you know why they're telling you a year, Chad? Because they think that's appropriate, and they haven't had the taste of the blood of receiving that check. So as you start, here's a really great one. Okay, I have a lender, Allison Gustafson, who I just paid off. Let me show you a little quick text message with Allison, okay? With Allison, I told her, hey, I'm paying you off. Okay, and what she says is, oh no, do you have other, and what's funny, let me show this to you. This was March 10th, so this is really recent. Okay, this one's a really good one for you to see because it pertains to you, because it's the psychology. And guys, I'm answering a question that a lot of you people will have, okay? I'm answering a question a lot of you will end up having. So even though you don't have it right now, believe me, you will run into having this at some point, okay? So here's the answer. Right here with Allison, let's see, there it is. Allison, I text her on March 10th, paying you off today. Tony or Molly will be reaching out for the payoff soon. She goes, do you have any others we can invest in? I have a missionary that it was paying for. So she's a Mormon. Obviously, Mormons have missionary children that are out on their missions. I have a missionary that it was paying for, and you guys are awesome, and it's been amazing investing with you. She, listen to this, Chad, originally told me she only wanted to lend money to me for 6 months because she didn't know what it felt like to receive a simple interest check only every month without her principal balance ever dwindling. So she loaned us, I think she loaned us $48,000. A year and 4 months later is how long I've had this money. A year and 4 months later, how much money do I still owe her? Chad?
The same amount.
$48,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's received a check every single month. So she started out saying, I only want to give you 6 months of this money. Why? Is that because of the desire she had, or because of her inexperience based on never receiving a simple interest-only check?
The inexperience.
Okay, so is it plausible to say that your family member that has never received a check from you is giving you a short time frame of 12 months because they don't have the level of trust yet that would allow them to go beyond the 12 months?
That's true.
Okay, that's option A. I'm going to move to option B, but I just want to close the door on that in your mind, you need to understand that a lot of times people put limitations on how long they want to have their money with you because they don't understand how awesome it is to receive just a simple interest-only check. And Allison, same exact thing. I don't know. I guess I could go to 6 months. I could go to 6 months. Bro, now she's like, wait, you're paying me off? Do you have any others we can invest in? And of course, I have a big multifamily project that I'm putting people into right now. And so she's excited. She's rolling her money into that deal. So the second thing that you need to know, first thing we need to know is that a lot of people that put in their short time frame just need to be shown that they're going to receive a check and that they're secure in real estate. So if at the end of 12 months, it's not that their money's gone, it's just that you might be able to say, hey, I need another 6 months or another 12 months on this money, and I'll bump you from 10% to 11% for this second year. You can renegotiate.
Okay.
Okay. And that's what I would do is let's say you go to the 11-month mark and option C is not available for you. Option A is your family member is going to extend because they're now used to this money. It's free money to them, right? I almost want to show you guys my Coinbase account to show you my crypto. Anybody that invests in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that kind of stuff, it's a total scam. It's total bullshit. And stocks are the same. It's all the same bullshit. It's a scam. So what's happened is over the last year of me investing in stocks and crypto and all this other stuff, I've lost money But if I took that same amount of money and I put it in real estate, it would have quadrupled my money, right? So lending on real estate is the only safe investment. It is the only safe investment. Everything else is a risk, and everything else is a gamble. Real estate is not a gamble. It's only a gamble based on if you have a short time frame. So let's say that the market does crash in 6 months, Chad, which is totally plausible. It doesn't mean that your family members lost their money. It just means they have to wait a little bit longer to get it. Okay. So in option A, your family member is either going to say, hey, let's extend this. This party's awesome. I want to stay longer at the party. Or they're going to say, or the market's going to crash and you go, hey, I need to extend based on circumstances, but your money's still safe and I'm still making cash flow and all that kind of stuff. The property is worth half of what it was when I bought it, but the cash flow is still the same, so I can still pay you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
That's not the answer you want to hear, but that's a real answer.
No, that's okay. I like answers I don't want to hear.
Okay, next part. Let me finish these last other two options, and then I'll pause and you can ask another question. So option B would be to sell the properties and pay them off, right? If it's like a family member that you're fearful of losing a relationship because you have to extend, then just go to option B and sell the property. Option C would be refinance the property, right? Or option D, go and find another lender and replace them. And after a month or two of them not getting that check anymore, they'll go, hey, do you have another project I can invest in? So those are your options. What questions do you have?
Well, and also I'm trying to not just use a family member. So I'm raising private capital and all the other ways that you said, sellers, all that good stuff. But one thing as far as integrity goes that I would be concerned about would be if she's like, okay, here's 100, basically revolving line of credit, or if something, maybe it'd be in an account I could draw from. I don't know. I'm still. No.
Never, ever, 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 ever do that.
Well, that was my concern. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Bro, I get people that come to me and go, hey, I'll just wire you $100,000 directly to you and you can use it however you want. Never do that. That's
what I was saying. Cause I don't want the money. I want it to go to escrow. I want it to all be handled that way. That was my question was.
It always, again, at the very beginning of this live, 2.5 hours ago, I said very Russian Eskimo. It's not an important question because it's a question I've already answered at the very beginning. What did I say? I said never, under any circumstances, take money in your personal account, your business account. It always goes where?
Escrow.
Yes. It's always 100% tied to a real estate transaction. And every single time you buy your lender a lender's policy. 100% of the time.
How long? Sorry.
Go ahead. It's interesting that I've already answered this question though, like in depth.
No, I was listening.
I know, but this is me saying this out loud for me. Like, how do I do this better? Because I answered this very specifically earlier, but I think it's just that earlier in the Zoom, it's interesting to hear it, but it only becomes important when it's your specific deal that you can actually put the deals together, which I appreciate because this, I think, answers it for a lot more people because it's now like an actual circumstance. So I appreciate it. I'm just speaking out loud for myself for like, how do I educate better?
Absolutely.
So what's your question about that?
Well, it was just saying, she was basically, hey, here's this available capital. We'll figure out a way to structure that. And she's just been like, let me send it. And I've been saying, no, like not going to happen. I don't care who you are. I'm not going to put money into any account that is not linked with an attorney.
If God himself came down and told me, God himself comes down and says, here's a chest of gold, I'd say, take it to the title company.
That's awesome.
I don't want to touch your money. The only way I'm ever going to touch your money is after the transaction is closed, the title company that gave you a lender's policy to protect your money then distributes the money from their account to my account. The flow needs to be documented properly, and it needs to have protection with a note and a deed of trust on every deal.
So if you don't know how long, absolutely. If you don't know how long you're going to need the money for.
Put you in the note. Okay. So we're going to get into the paperwork here shortly, but the way you structure a deal, let me ask you guys a question. Pay attention to this because this is going to answer the question of how do I do the paperwork? How do I do the paperwork? Guys, there's no such thing as a private money lending agreement. You guys know that? There's no such thing as a private money lending agreement. There is, I'm going to say it again. There's no such thing as a private money lending agreement. It's called a note and a deed of trust. It's a promissory note. It's literal. It's very literal. I promise to pay you, and whatever I promise you, we're putting this in a note, a document, a note. Therefore, it's called a promissory note. I promise everything in this note is how I'm going to pay you back, okay? It's called a promissory note. That note is secured, recorded. The document is taken by the title company, not by you, by the title company, and the title company goes to the county recorder's office and records it on the digital property so that if I pull up a property on the county recorder's office, it's going to show who owes what money on that house through a deed of trust or a mortgage, depending on what state you're in. So what a promissory note is actually called, this is what, do you guys want to hear what a promissory note is actually called? Also called a note. People make it very short and they call it a note. When we say the word note, we're doing it wrong, okay? Let's see, promissory note. Let's see, this one's really good. I'll pull this one up. Chad, this is a great question. Thank you for bringing this up.
Thanks.
By the way, this has been answered to probably the 10th degree inside of our SubTo stuff. So if I don't get all the way through it and you still have questions, I would go and answer that. I would get that answer somewhere else and more in depth in the, let's see, more in depth in the SubTo vaults. Hold on a sec. I think it's 78th. No, 78th. This is all important. And I'm so visual that I have to see this stuff myself. And so let me share this with you. So this is these are the documents that you sign with a lender. Okay. The lender right here. Look at this. Look what it's actually called. It's a note secured by a deed of trust. Okay. Secured means recorded, digitally recorded at the county recorder's office. So these are the documents that you'll be able to see on anybody's property. So this is a seller finance note. Seller financed it to me. And then you'll go down here. This is how long it is. It's literally one page with a signature. It's very simple. And it's just, regular monthly installments of $375 with interest of 0%. This is a 0% seller finance deal I did. Yes, I am a gangster. Then here's the deed of trust right here. Okay, this is the recording number. Okay, so recording requested by East Title Agency, and when it's recorded, please mail a copy of it to these people. Here's the escrow number. Here's the recording number. Guys, do you see how important this is? This is recorded against the property on county recorder's office. This is very, very important for you, whether you are a private money lender or you are taking private money. 100% of every dollar you ever receive or give needs to be recorded with a note and a deed of trust through a title company or closing attorney without any exception whatsoever. Chad muted himself again because his kids are...
Nope,
oh,
I'm listening.
You there? All right, so what question do you have now?
Okay, so a lot of times I don't know how long I'm going to need the money for.
Okay, so here's the magical thing about a note. Literally anything I can imagine can be written in that note. Okay, so what I would do is I'd say something to my family member like, hey, I don't know exactly how much time it's going to take. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 2 years or less. I'm gonna bake it out a long time, or I'll even put in the note. Literally, Chad, anything I can imagine, I can put in my note. You know, one of my notes with my seller. Okay, I did this with one of my sellers. This is legitimately true. I did this just to show students a year and 4 months ago that you can do anything with a note. Okay, so I negotiated with my seller on my Atlanta property that every time I come into Atlanta, she had to take me to dinner. It is literally in my note that she has to take me to dinner. That is our agreement. Anything I want can be written in a note. No joke. So whatever your worry is, your issue, your whatever, you have to remember, how is a deal structured? I already told you, it's structured by what is the deal you are doing and what is the desire of the lender. Okay, so your deal, I don't know when I'm going to be able to pay you back, so why not give yourself a buffer that makes you comfortable and your lender? Hey, lender, I don't know how long I'm going to keep this, so I'm going to put in the note, if you're okay, I'm going to put in the note that it will be on or before this future date. I'm going to try and pay you as fast as possible, but I'm going to give myself a lot more runway just in case some oh shits happen. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Has that sufficiently answered the question?
Yes, it has.
Okay, now what I would do, Chad, is when you get into that situation with the lender and you're with your title company, I would come into one of our SubTo Zooms, Tuesday Q&A or a Sunday Q&A that I do, and go, hey, Pace, I'm working on my note. I've got it all the way to that finish line. And I will literally, like, I've paid my title company to write other students' notes for them and go through it. And you'll, as you watch that, actually go, there's a couple of really good Zooms that I've had my private title company that I own come in and structure notes for people. And my students are all like, wait, there's no way it's that easy. I'm like, yeah, it's that easy. Sometimes you just need to be shown how easy it is because you've never done it before, right? So when you get to that point, whatever you feel comfortable with and the lender feels comfortable, that's what you end up putting in the note. And the note is do I write the note or does the title company write the note?
The title company.
That is correct. You tell them what you want and they draft it. And then who records it against the county recorder's office?
They do.
They do. And why do I record it against the county recorder's office? One, that's one of the 5 things I give a lender to give them security is a note and deed of trust. That's one of 5 things I give them. Okay. A lender's policy is a second one. Okay. But I record it against the county recorder's office because let's say I try and sell the property. Can I sell the property? Can I refinance the property? Can I do anything with that property without the permission of my lender?
No.
But what if there was no note and deed of trust secured to the property? Could I do whatever I wanted with that property?
Absolutely.
Right. So I don't care who you are. I don't care who they are. I don't care where the money's coming from or what the deal's for. 100% of the time, put it on a note and deed of trust that makes sense for both of you.
Okay. Can I ask one more question?
Yes, of course. I think a lot of people are probably learning a lot from this, so I'll answer you whatever you got.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. So I got to kind of figure this out by Wednesday because I'm actually using 25 grand to get a smoking awesome deal. But are there any fixed terms like that you're like, this has always got to be in here as a CYA? And then like,
yes,
about paperwork. So I basically just tell the attorneys, hey, this is what I want in there. Because I pretty much have to know this by Tuesday to structure this, to tell them. So,
okay. Yes, I actually, hey, there's Daniel Moore. He's one of the people that I've paid my title company to do a note and deed of trust for him.
Awesome.
So yes, standard stuff. Okay. In a note and deed of trust, first and foremost, your title company or your closing attorney, I can tell you have drafted thousands of notes and deeds of trust.
Okay.
You're not going to have to tell them what the standard stuff is. They already have a standard template that they use at their closing office. 100, you going to them and educating them or telling them here's the basics would be somewhat offensive.
Right.
Right. So, but I understand what you're asking. The number one thing is, what's my interest rate? When am I being paid? Right. So let's look at that. Let's pull up that note and deed of trust one more time with that seller and the person that gave me seller finance of 0% seller finance. Let's pull this up and I'll show you the terms of this deal and you'll understand it's a one page, but it's very basic. Let's pull this up. All right, cool. 822 people. Are you guys learning anything today? Or is this pace is just intense day? Okay, cool. So here we go. I promise to pay. Okay, so the undersigned jointly and severally promise to pay Dell and Susan. So that's the people who are lending the money to me. And I'm paying them. Where am I paying them? How am I paying them? Where is it being paid? It's being paid Magnus Title Servicing. So I actually hired a servicing company to manage my payments for me. Okay, that's something I will teach only to SubTo students, is what servicing companies are and what they do, et cetera. I'm not going to teach that in this Zoom. So you want to say, who is it going to? Where do I actually make the payment? What is the principal sum? Okay. And then you want to say, this one had a down payment on it. So I actually structured, this is one of the most gangster deals I ever did, because I structured my down payment. So they even seller financed my down payment to me. So I won't go over that section. So in regular monthly installments of $375 or more. So can I pay more money if I wanted to in this situation? Chad?
Yes.
Okay. Payable on or before the same day of the month, beginning in 2020, with interest on all unpaid principal at the rate. So there we go. We got the interest rate. So here we go. We got who, we got how much is the principal, we got what are my payments, what's my interest rate, where am I making the payments to, and how many payments and how long. So you see this? Literally everything is in one little paragraph. So what I would do is I will put this note, I'll put a screenshot of this note in the Facebook group for SubTo real quick. Okay, let me take a little screenshot of it for you, and you can go in there and just take this and you can give this to your peeps. Okay. So again, we've got who the money is owed to. We've got how much is owed to them, starting at what date. What is my monthly payment specifically? Is that payment principal and interest, or is it just principal? Is it just interest? What is it, right? What's the terms? Is it amortized, interest only? What are the terms of the money? And what day I'm supposed to pay. Then even in this, I have a late charge of $25 if I pay it 10 days later than I'm supposed to. So I have a 10-day what leeway? What's the word I'm looking for? Grace period. So I have 10-day grace period, and then after it's $25 late fee, right? So that's basically the terms of the entire thing. So when people say, "What are the terms?" Well, it's pretty simple, right?
Yes, it is.
Right. So what's another question you have for me?
Okay. So I'm going to be closing on a deal Wednesday for $25,000. I'm going to talk with a family member. I'm also raising more private capital for future, right? Like you had said, to diversify that. But so I'm going to call the title company, tell them my terms to get that set up. And we can do anything. So you'd probably recommend, if we can, interest only. But you're saying we can make principal payments ahead of time if we want to.
Yeah, but you have to, here's the problem with this. Okay. Here's the problem with principal payments is that, do you think that your lender wants you to make principal payments to them every month, or is that just something you want to do?
Right. Well, yeah, they'd rather have the interest.
Throw that out of your brain right now.
Okay.
Your lenders will hate your guts if every single month they have to restructure their note. And because think about it, your note and deed of trust is based on a specific dollar amount. And you had to have a title company go and record that against the recorder's office. So let's say every month you go, hey, here's your interest for what I owe you. And then also here's an incremental payment of principal. Let's go back to that note and deed of trust and record a new one, because now I don't owe you the same principal.
Right.
Would you, if you were a lender of mine and every month I was having you restructure the note and deed of trust because I paid down part of your principal, wouldn't you freaking just hate my guts and not want to lend money to me again?
Absolutely.
Okay. So do you think you should be paying your principal down along the way?
Nope.
Okay. So what should I do with that money? So on my deal with Sonia, what I did is I actually put it into an account and I let it stack up. And then at the end of the 12 months, I just paid her off in one fell swoop.
Got it.
Make sense?
It does.
I'll actually tell you what I did with, you want to know what I did with Sonia's money? As I was stacking up the money I was going to pay to her, I put it in my transactional funding account, and I'll teach you guys about transactional funding here in just a little bit. I put it in my transactional funding account, so I would do transactional lending with that $20 or $15 or $30,000 for people for just a day or two. I have people all the time hitting me up and saying, hey, will you lend earnest money to me? I need $2,500 for earnest money. I have a deal right now where somebody's asking me to lend $212,000 of earnest money on a big portfolio deal for like 2 weeks. And they go, we'll pay you $10,000. I go, how about you pay me 2 of the houses? I'll pay your earnest money for the 2 of the houses. And I'm legitimately in that negotiation to get 2 houses out of this big portfolio they're buying because I was willing to just temporarily give them the $212,000 they need to close escrow on that deal. So wouldn't it be smart for you, Chad, to accumulate the principal that you're owing them and you just put it to the side based on your cash flow and then use that money to do transactional lending by networking with other people in the SubTo community? Who needs earnest money? Who needs this? Who needs that? I can fund you for 10 days for whatever you need. And now you're a shark. Now you're getting little bites of other people's stuff. It's actually not a shark. That's an alligator. I'll tell you what an alligator is. So that's what I did with Sonia. I accumulated that money, that $30,000, and I was doing transactional lending and actually compounding it faster. That's a whole another thing I can jump into when we're in a private. Yeah, I'll jump into that more like in a private SubTo Zoom, but I'll show you how that gets structured and like how to do that specifically. But that's what you should do with that money, not paying off your lender month in and month out. That's stupid and annoying for the lender. Your lender, guess how long that lender is going to want to be your lender?
Not long.
Not long. Dude, I'd be like, are you freaking kidding me? You're annoying.
Right. On another Zoom, I'll ask you which account you put that in for Profit First and your holdings or the other LLC.
So remember, Profit First is for an account that's making money, right? It's for a business. If I have a lending business over there, right? If I have a lending business, it's just one account and I'm using that account as a lending business. Okay. And they take those distributions and the profit from that, and I throw that up to a holding account, and that holding account has Profit First.
Right.
I don't need to have Profit First in every single account. That's craziness.
Got it. Okay.
Make sense?
It does.
What else you got?
I think that's it. I know I'm going to think of 4 things after, but.
Well, you'll see me on Tuesday. Come to me on Tuesday Zoom. I might do another bonus on Monday because this coming week I'm speaking on the 10X stage in Miami. Boom, 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 which is cool. And I will not be available Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is when I typically do all my bonus Zooms for the SubTo students. I won't be there, but I'll just come to me on Tuesday. Go talk to your, is it a closing attorney?
Yes, I'm in North Carolina.
Perfect. Love it. Okay. So I do deals in North Carolina and we use go to, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Chad Glover. You're a newer student. You probably don't know who Chad Glover is. Go to Chad Glover and say, what closing attorney are you using? And how are you doing your notes and deeds of trust? And how are you doing that stuff? And make a friend inside of SubTo that will save your life, especially in North Carolina. Ted Miller, like there's so many, I can't even tell you how many amazing people there are in North Carolina in SubTo.
Awesome.
Okay. So go to Chad Glover, Ted Miller, and they'll help you out with that. And, but first and foremost on Monday morning, ask your closing attorney, hey, do you guys have a standard note and deed of trust? They'll go, what are you, dumb?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like asking us if we have a front door and a phone. It's how we make money. Of course we have a standard note and deed of trust. So you just haven't done that specifically. So you assume it's a document that they're not doing. They do it actively all the time. And you've just done wholesale. So what happens is you're just seeing the transaction and the paperwork that's involved with wholesale, but you don't realize that they're doing, that's wholesale is like 1% of what that closing attorney does. 99% of what he does is other stuff, right? Private lenders, they're dealing with hard money lenders, private money lenders on probably 99% of their transactions.
Got it.
Okay.
Yes. So helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Go to your closing attorney, ask questions, come to me on Tuesday night and I'll help you structure the note. Okay.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining the mentorship, bro.
Oh, so much value. It's ridiculous. It hurts. It's so good.
I know. I know.
Anyone who thinks otherwise is a knucklehead. And by the way, that's one of my favorite words and I've been using.
I know. I'm going to put it on a shirt. It's going to be great.
It's my favorite.
Thanks, Chad. So was that helpful, guys, getting Chad to, this is why I do Q&A style so I can get people to get their questions answered. Okay. Now, a couple things. let's go back to the personality type. Does anybody have a question specific to raising capital? Because I feel like a lot of times people raise their hand and they actually don't have a question to raising capital. Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna lower everybody's hands, and anybody that has a specific question to raising capital, you can re-raise your hand. How about that? And if it's not, I'm gonna mute you. Remember that. Okay. Jenny, what do you got?
So I know you're probably going to mute me, but I have a situation going on and the deal's falling apart like right now. No. Okay.
This is where I get students that DM me and tell me I'm a piece of shit because I didn't stay on topic.
Okay.
Like I literally get people yelling at me because they're like, I skipped out on church. I took off work and you came in there and answered somebody's question. Jenny, and the problem is I have a hard time saying no. So now I want to help you. What's the situation?
So the situation is I am helping some other students and the deal is literally falling apart right now. And they're supposed to close March 31st. It's in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly like the perfect scenario for this. I tried to get a hold of.
Why is it falling apart?
So I tried to get a hold of the seller to see what was really going on. He's coming back and saying that he has some loan shark. I need to talk to the lender.
No, what are you guys under contract with the seller?
Yes.
Okay, then the seller can't get out. The seller is legally obligated to finish that transaction. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to get an attorney involved. And if I were you, I'd get an attorney involved and I'd not play games.
Notice to cure right and breach of remedies. Yep. But there's also a buyer involved. Okay. It was assigned. Now, my issue is the assignment agreement says transfers and set over into assignee all of assigner's right, title, and interest as purchase agreement between seller and buyer. And all terms and conditions shall be fully transferred to the end buyer, right?
Right.
She signed the release between her and the seller.
Yep.
So, I mean, is there even anything legally there?
What are you hoping to accomplish with that agreement?
With which agreement?
The one that you just brought up.
To assign the contract.
I know you've assigned the contract. So what you're bringing it up to me for what purpose?
Because there's an assignment.
Are you trying to get the buyer to deal with the seller? Is that what you're trying to do?
The buyer already dealt with the seller and signed a release.
Signed to release the seller from the transaction?
Yeah, which I didn't think you could do.
You can't do that. No.
I didn't think so. The other situation, so we are still direct to seller, correct?
Yes, you are still direct to seller. The buyer cannot go around you and negate your contract. They can't negate an A to B contract. All you're doing is you're assigning your rights to purchase the property. They're not assigning your rights to take over the ability to sign and negotiate on your behalf. If you have to go back and do that, you're still in the middle of the deal.
Right. So I've been trying to get a hold of the seller, right? And the
seller has another buyer is what's going on. The seller's going to, yes. So what you need to do is get a memorandum put on the property and you need to notice the seller with either a lis pendens or a demand letter from an attorney.
Okay.
The seller's not going to move because why? Because they have a loan shark? They don't have a loan shark. What they have is they have somebody offering more money.
Right. Which is the feeling I had.
It's not, it's a fact. I've never seen a seller act fishy for any other reason except they have another buyer.
Right. Well, I've tried calling him several times and.
Well, why wouldn't he answer, Jenny? Why would he not answer?
Well,
because he knows now he's got to have a confrontation with you about something he's gone around your back. So if you have
he just called me back.
Oh, he called you. Okay. What did he say?
He just called me. I was on the Zoom, so I didn't call him back.
Call him back.
Right.
And just tell him we have legal rights over this property. And I hate to be this person, but this is how I feed my children and my family. And if you are not moving forward with the transaction, I'm going to put a memorandum and stop whatever it is that you're doing with the other buyer.
Right.
I don't have another buyer. Okay, great. You tell me that, but the reality is, I'm sure you do. I'm putting a memorandum on the property on Monday.
Right. And that's the feeling I got. You're like the greatest of all time with creative and reading people and knowing all of this. So I thought it would be best to ask you. And that's why I'm like, can you answer right now?
Yeah, it's not. So here's the challenging thing. Jenny, you've been in business in other businesses outside of real estate. There's no such thing as a business that doesn't have like confrontational moments and challenging discussions. And this is just one of those times in real estate that these are the lessons that you get taught. Okay. The lessons you get taught are these. One, put a memorandum on a property, use my contract to make sure you have the ability to put a memorandum on the property. And if you just use somebody's 3-page downloadable contract off YouTube, then you screwed up because you now don't have a legal right to put a memorandum on a property. This is why I write your guys' contracts inside the mentorship. And if let's say that you didn't use my contract, you use like Brent Daniels or somebody else's that doesn't have the ability and permission to write a memorandum, what you need to do is you need to now file a lis pendens and get an attorney involved if there's enough money to be made on this deal.
Okay.
Is there enough money to be made on this deal?
I do believe so. So ARV is between 110 and 100.
Jenny, how much money were you guys going to make with your buyer that basically turned into a piece of shit?
Almost 9,000.
Okay. So for me, here's the thing is like, am I going to go file a lis pendens and sue the seller? You're not really going to sue a seller. I've never actually sued a seller. I just warned them of a potential lawsuit. That gets their feet moving. That's going to cost you $1,100 to file lis pendens. So are you willing to go and fight that battle? Or is this now just going to be $1 million lesson for you that you should have filed a memorandum and you should have used the proper paperwork?
No, it's $1 million. I mean, it's a lesson.
Okay. So what I would do is if I were you, I would not file a lis pendens, and that's going to cost you $1,100. What I would do is go and file a memorandum, whether you have the permission to do so or not. Okay?
Right. Okay.
You didn't do the paperwork right, which is why I'm aiming this right. I'm just guessing you didn't do it right.
Right.
Whose contract did you use?
You know what? I'm not even sure.
There's the problem. If you use my contract, my cash wholesale contract is worth 10 times the price of this mentorship. And if you didn't use that contract, you don't have the legal right to file a memorandum on this property, which means if you go file a memorandum on the property, you're going to commit a misdemeanor.
Case, it is your contract.
Okay, then you have the permission.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a lot more to be made on this deal than just the assignment fee. But right now it's just trying.
Is it a SubTo deal?
It possibly could be if I can find out.
That means it's not.
To talk to them.
It's a
free and clear deal. And he claims that there's another lien, but title hasn't come back yet. So I don't know for certain.
Okay, but your buyer was going to pay cash for it.
Correct.
Okay, great. So the thing is you had a buyer at one point. Do you think you're going to be able to find another buyer relatively quickly? Why'd your buyer bail out? Why'd your buyer release the seller?
Because the seller started going sideways and wanted to back out of the deal, and she didn't want to get between the buyer and.
Doesn't sound like a good buyer to me. It sounds like a wholesaler that was trying to JV the deal that didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said.
Here's what I would do. I would reach out to Medium Wave Dave in the mentorship and see if he can help you find another buyer in Birmingham.
Okay.
And I bet you there's more than $9,000 on the bone.
Right.
And I think that what you do is you file a memorandum, you send a demand letter, you don't let that seller go and do a deal with anybody else. That memorandum will stay on the property for forever. So you're protected.
Okay.
They can't go around you. You have legal permission in your contract that you can file memorandum. You file a copy of your memorandum, you file a copy of your purchase contract and the memorandum with the county recorder's office. It stops their ability to sell the property or even refinance. They can't even refinance the property without dealing with your memorandum. And you sit and wait until somebody calls you. I probably get a call every quarter from a memorandum I filed a year ago. Title company. Hey, can you release your memorandum? No, tell the seller to call me. Just happens. It's probably 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 30 contracts you're going to get. The seller will get another offer after you leave their house. They're going to play these games. It's very typical. It's part of the business. It's the same thing with I have a buddy that owns an air conditioning company. Okay. And he goes, knocks doors, says, hey, your air conditioning unit looks 20 years old. We can see AC units on people's roofs here. So that's what they do. They knock doors and go, oh, your AC unit's original build is 20, 25 years old. Can we give you an estimate? They give them an estimate. They get them into like a signed contract, and then they start ghosting them. And they're like, hey, we're coming to like install your AC unit. And then like a day or two later, they'll go knock on the door and there's a brand new air conditioning unit on the house.
Okay.
And how'd that happen? It happened because the AC unit or the AC company goes to knock on the door. They get the seller, or I'm sorry, not the seller, the homeowner thinking, oh, I do need a new AC unit. They take my buddy's AC estimate and they start calling around to other AC companies and they go, hey, I've got a company that I've already like worked with. They gave me a price. Can you give me a better price? And so now what they do is the other AC company goes, holy crap, I can sneak in there, beat this guy by $500 and install a unit. And now they're not going to force me to take my unit off the house.
Mm-hmm.
This happens in every single business.
Right. So the other situation with the end buyer, right? I don't think that she is a wholesaler trying to get rid of it. Okay. She has a fix and flip business in Birmingham. Her husband is I am positive of that. And she does 7 to 10 deals a month. She has Airbnbs. She's actually met a few SubTo students. That's how she got involved in the deal as a speaker at an event on Airbnb's wholesale.
Okay. So why would she cancel? And if she's a speaker and she's so legitimate in business, why would she go around your back?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because she's not a cash buyer. She's a marketer and a promoter.
Okay.
I've explained, hey, by the way, you see the side chat, people are mad at me that I deviated to help you.
Yeah, so sorry. Leo Aguirre knows her and brought her into the deal. I was trying to help.
She is not a real cash buyer. Does she cash buy sometimes? Jenny, I am a pretty big fix and flipper. I do 3 to 4 fix and flips a month, and it's a lot. If this lady's doing 7 deals a month, bullshit. She's wholesaling 5 and doing 2. And so what she looked at, she goes, oh, seller's being a pain in the butt. I'm not going to deal with this because I was going to wholesale this anyway. It wasn't going to make me a lot of money, maybe $5,000. So she goes around your guys' back and communicates to the seller and cancels the contract without communicating to you. Does she sound like a legitimate business person?
No, and that was the feeling I got. I just wanted to make sure that I was correct because I offered to help and it's literally falling apart right now. So
okay, so here's how we stop it from falling apart. I already give this to you, but I'm going to give you a button on this. A cash buyer runs a legitimate business. They're never going to promote. They're not going to be on stage. They're not going to have a YouTube channel. They're not going to be on Instagram doing all that. That's not a cash buyer. That's somebody who sometimes does buy deals. Sometimes. That's called a wholesaler who every once in a while will buy a deal just to look legitimate. That's what she is. If she's a cash buyer, why is she on stage? Why is she doing all this stuff? She's a wholesaler trying to get people to send her deals. She's co-wholesaling your deal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do tomorrow? File a memorandum on the property and send a demand letter from an attorney by spending $250 and demand that the seller finish the transaction. In the meantime, reach out to Medium Wave Dave and say, help me find a buyer.
Okay.
The deal, they can't sell it to another buyer. So you fix that problem. The buyer now is going to, or the seller's now going to get a demand letter and know that you mean business. And Jenny, you need to go through this.
I know.
You need to know what this feels like. So in the future, when you're messing around with these people that are like quote unquote fix and flippers that are doing, by the way, Jenny, if somebody's doing 7 deals a month, do you know how many houses they have under construction? 21. Do you think this lady has 21? Because you know what it takes to run a fix and flip business with doing 7 deals a month? You've got houses that are in escrow, you've got houses that are in renovation, and you've got houses that are for sale. Her pipeline of 7 deals a month is probably close to 50 houses she owns 50 houses.
Mm-hmm.
I would guarantee my left pinky she doesn't currently own 7 houses across the board.
Okay.
Why would she be so illegitimate that she would go around your back and cancel a contract that you brought to her without communicating with anybody on your team?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to understand. I just wanted to make sure I understood it correctly. And I know that it is something that I need to go through. That's why I reached out and said, I need to ask right now.
Yes.
So I appreciate it. Sorry, everyone.
No, it's good. It sucks when you're going through all that kind of stuff. It does.
Thank you, Pace.
No problem. Go through the fire. You have to go through the fire. I every morning I wake up in the morning and I go, what fire am I going to walk through today? Because it's the only way I'm going to learn anything.
Yes.
Okay. And this is good for everybody else to learn, because there's probably a lot of dumbasses in here that have not ever taken action on anything in their freaking lives. And here you are actually going through something and just realizing this is daily information that you have to go through as a real estate investor.
Right.
Right? Look at you. Was there ever, Jenny, was there ever a point where you were just watching YouTube and just consuming content?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So can we just all agree that we're proud of Jenny for going through this experience and that she's going through some shitty stuff right now, but that's the only way you can learn.
Right. Thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Go get it done.
Will do.
All right. Okay. So let me go through a couple. I've got an hour. That's all I've got, unfortunately, guys. So let's go through a couple of things. I'm going to show you guys another way to find private money lenders, and then I'll go into a couple of other things that will help you guys out with understanding personality types. I'm going to go into some transactional lending stuff too. Transactional lending is what I just kind of alluded to with Chad a couple of minutes ago. Give me a second, guys. All right, cool. All right, so I have this little software that for a lot of students that saw the demo of this the other day, I've got a piece of software. Let's see, where is it? I was sharing it, I think, just a second ago. Let me reshare it. Got this software called Deal Automator. So I can go into, let's go into, I don't want to go in there. Let's go back. Lead flow, lead pipes premium. Ooh, people leads. That's what I want. Okay, so check it out. I can go to, I don't want that. I want private money lenders. Go away. Go away, go away. I just learned this actually yesterday. I was like blown away by it. Let's see, private contacts. I don't want to do that. Where is this? Financing. No, I don't want that. People leads. Oh, here we go. Private lender. So literally it's this easy. Okay. So I can go into Arizona. Let's go to Maricopa County. Okay. Boom. Private money lender. Boom. So check it out. There's 4,070 private money lenders in Maricopa County. Okay, so I can click on all of these. I did this yesterday for the SubTo students. I downloaded 11,000 private money lenders. I can tell you if they live in Paradise Valley or Scottsdale, they're probably a private money lender. But Deal Automator, which is the CRM that we currently switched over, or we recently switched over to, it's literally that simple. So what Deal Automator looks up, and I just found this out yesterday, what Deal Automator uses, oops, my bad. Yes, you need a subscription, okay? You need a subscription for it. Does somebody have my link for the subscription? Any of the students in here have my link for that? Oh, there we go. So Kai has it. Thank you, Kai. I appreciate that. So there's my link. So the Deal Automator is another way you can find private money lenders. Like literally I can type in any city. I gave away, did Molly post the thing yesterday, guys? How to get private lenders if you have no money or job. Okay, so who asked that question? Gems. Gems, can I ask you a question? Because I think maybe you've logged in late, or maybe you're not quite sure what we've been talking about. Somehow you've gotten lost on this, but I'd love to chat with you for a second. Gems, you there? Gems? Gems. They're like, I'm not going to get beat up by Pace. I'm not unmuting myself. Okay, cool.
Hello.
Oh, Gems, you there?
Yeah, are you able to hear me? Sorry.
I can hear you great. So did you show up late?
Yes, I actually just got here like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, you literally asked a question that I went through for 2 hours straight.
Oh, great. Nice.
Yeah, this is usually I will block people out of the Zooms just because of that exact question. Because it's just like I've gone on I've been here for 3 hours answering all this. Guys, have I sufficiently answered the question of how do I find private money lenders, exactly where they come from, even if I don't have credit, a deal, or any experience? Have I sufficiently answered that question? Please tell Gems the answer in the side chat. Gems, how many people do you think are saying yes?
Everyone.
800 people were here on time and they got the answer.
I didn't get the email for some reason, so I didn't know what.
Because it was in your spam inbox and you didn't find it until later.
Yeah.
That's why. That's the reason, right?
Yeah.
I can be harsh sometimes, can't I?
It's fine.
Believe me, I get a lot of people DM me like, I haven't gotten the email. I'm like, yeah, you have. Check your spam inbox. They go, oh, I found it.
Yeah.
Right? So when you say I didn't get the email for some reason, the proper way to say that is I'm a knucklehead and I didn't look in my spam inbox until 3 hours after the Zoom started.
Yeah, you're right.
Got it. Okay. And that's perfectly fine. I'm not angry about it, but I just want to be very clear. I send out the Zoom link so you guys get it I gave it to everybody yesterday. Okay. In fact, I feel bad because I email so many people so frequently. Look at, Christina says, I got the emails 4 times. And I'm sitting there telling my team, like, don't email it to anybody anymore. It's like too much. And they're like, nope, people are knuckleheads. They'll lose it. Right. Yeah. Cool. But good question. I appreciate you. You can go back and watch it and maybe spend the rest of your time linking in with other people, please. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to answer a couple more questions. Let's see here. Nahid, how you doing?
Hello.
Yo, what up?
What's up? Hey, Pace. Thank you so much for all these valuable listen that you're putting out for everyone.
Of course.
This is just amazing. I love you to death. I love our group to death.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm going back to my question. I did a private money lending to someone about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And we bought a note, which it was a non-performing note, and in Chicago. So anyway, we made.
Can I be clear on this?
Yes.
You loaned money to somebody else so they could go buy a non-performing note?
Yes. It was supposedly be a training or a learning experience that I put up the money and he knows how to do the notes and all that stuff and keep me, teach me how to do it. So what it was, he basically didn't pay me that money.
I was just going to say, let me guess, you didn't get your money back.
No, I didn't. Now he is ghosting me on it.
Of course he is. Because you probably didn't go through a title company. You probably send it to him directly and he... No. We actually bought a note on a property. Okay.
It was, I was in a group that they're lenders and they own notes of properties on non-performing and performing. Anyway. Yep. So we bought this.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Before you go into this, because I want to be very clear.
Right.
Okay. Be very clear to people that are listening to you because all they're listening, because a lot of people don't even know what a non-performing note is.
Right. Okay.
Personally, I would never in my life, there's other people in here that they like that strategy. Personally, I would never, ever invest in a non-performing note.
Well, I mean, that was my first time.
I understand that, but I just want you see there's people in the side chat that are saying, I was just going to ask that. Guys, listen to what a non-performing note is, okay? It means that whoever is the homeowner on the property is not paying their lender. And so what you're doing is you're going in there and saying, hey, lender who's not being paid, take your shoes off because I want to step into those shoes that smell like shit. Let me step into your shoes and stand where you're standing, where you're not receiving a payment from the person living in the house. That's what a non-performing note is. It's legitimately. I'm very sorry for people that think that strategy is great, and it can be great, but you need to have a black belt degree in real estate in order to mess with that. That's literally what you're doing. You're finding lenders that are like, I'm sick of the person that's living in this property because they're not paying me my payment. I'm the lender, I seller financed to them, and they're not making their payment to me. So they owe me $100,000, and I'm willing to sell this for 50 cents on the dollar. I will sell my position, my $100,000 that's owed to me. I will sell this note to somebody else for 50 cents on the dollar at 50 grand. To me, the lender doesn't even want it, and they're willing to sell it at that great of a discount. No wonder. It's in a non-performing note, the person that's living in the property. So does that strategy work? Absolutely, it can work. But don't lend money on non-performing notes, guys. The people that are going out and doing non-performing notes should just fund them themselves. You're walking into a deal that the details of the deal are literally that the person residing and like living in the property are not paying their payment. Is that a great place to lend money?
Well, just to be sure, and this, it was...
this is not for you. This is for everybody else in the chat to understand this, and we'll get into your question, okay? Hey, guys, I got this Honda Civic. It's worth $10,000, but I'll sell it to you for $5,000. Think there's something wrong with that car, maybe? So you buy it, you jump in it, you transfer it over, you go to turn it on, you go, what the hell's wrong? Click, 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 doesn't turn on. You go to open up the hood, there's no engine. But yeah, I got it 50 cents on the dollar. And somebody's going to say, well, yeah, but you can go buy an engine for like, $3,000, get it installed, and now you got a Honda Civic for $8,000 and some change. Dude, who has time for that shit? Just go buy a good deal. If you are brand new, stay away from non-performing notes. Anybody that disagrees with me, there's an alley in the back of my house, I'll fight you.
I agree.
Stay away from non-performing notes unless you're a black belt in real estate. Now, if there's somebody that is experienced with non-performing notes, I know a handful of people that I would trust. Eric Sage, Nick Legamaro, a couple of other people. Very few people would I trust with non-performing notes. Okay? So when I'm talking about investing money, I want to be very specific with you guys before I go into this question. Stay away from those. Don't raise money for them and don't lend money on them. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Did you mute yourself? Are you there? You muted yourself, didn't you? Yes, you did.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Okay, well, this was, we made money out of it. We took over and we made money out of it. But he wanted to put the money in some movie shit and stuff like that. So I didn't give him permission to to do it. I was waiting for him to giving me my money. So
did you say he wants to put the money in some movie shit?
He did that. He did that with a lot of people, but I didn't give him permission to do that with my money.
Did you meet him in a back alley right after I beat his ass?
No, actually, I met him in Ria. He was a pretty famous note holder. And sorry, I know, but it was 4 years ago and I was new. And
here's a rule. Never invest in anything that doesn't have real estate attached to it, ever.
Yes, that is true.
Ever. This is why I told you guys, rule number 1 of private money lending, don't take money to your personal name, put it in a title company, make sure it's secured against an actual real estate transaction every single time. Because guess what? His movie didn't work out. You're going to lose your money. He's ghosting you for obvious reasons.
Yes. I mean, all of that with the property was entitled, bunch of lawyers involved. So we sold the property, we made money, but he didn't give me my money, and took it and invested. Now he's ghosting me.
You can't, here's the thing. You gave him permission to do that.
Yes, I did.
He didn't take your money. You gave him permission because whatever the paperwork that was required to sign off on your previous payment, he took the money and put it into something else. He rolled it into another deal. You gave him permission to do that.
In the paperwork, the note that I have from him is only for that property. So we closed that deal, made money, but he didn't give me my money when it was time to give it to me. And he just took it and invested in that money because he was like drowning. So
he's running a Ponzi scheme. He's trying to be a movie star.
Right. And I'm not the only one. There's other people involved on it too.
Okay.
But
so what's your question besides making me want to shit my pants?
Just, should I just kiss that money and say
it's gone? That money is gone.
Okay. Got it.
How are you ever going to get that money back?
I mean, I contacted him last year in November. He emailed me that, oh, I'm really serious, but I'm going through heart issue. I have a pacemaker, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So that exactly I told him. I said, same thing we have also. Everybody has.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. The guy's full of shit. He stole your money. Do you guys know what a con man is? You know what this con and con man means? Confidence. He gained your confidence on a real estate transaction. You made a little bit of money, probably not much, right?
Well, it was like I more than doubled my money.
How much time?
And about, I would say 9 months.
And what was your investment?
15,000.
Okay, cool. So he doubled your money. Wow, that's dope. This guy doubled your money, gave you 100 and something% return in 9 months, and then
took off.
And then what'd you do with your 15 grand that you made? Did you go buy groceries with it? Did you use it for your own goods, or did that guy never actually give it to you? He just rolled into another deal?
No. Yeah.
Oh, so you actually never made money?
No. In all paper and everything, I worked that deal. We made money. Like I paid 15,000. We cash for Keith, the guy, out of the house, and we put it back in the market just the way it is, and with the trash.
Okay, so let me give you some good advice, because I'm giving you a hard time, but let me give you some advice. What I would do is I would contact a securities attorney.
Okay.
And I would contact 3 or 4 other people that are involved, and I would say, hey guys, let's get a securities attorney involved and talk about how this is securities fraud. This guy should go to prison or pay us back.
Okay. I know that he lost everything that he had.
Okay. Doesn't matter.
So, okay.
Doesn't matter. Does he have a personal house? Does he have a car? Does he have assets?
Not anymore. He lost it all.
You're listening to a con man who told you this.
No, I actually his house was foreclosed. He sold everything, like all the venue things that he had.
Okay, well then, you know what happened is here's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You are one of the little fish that he burned. He burned some big fish.
Yes, he did.
And those big fish have money and attorneys, and they came and took everything from him. And you're one of the guppies that didn't get any of the leftovers.
Yeah, because I know one of them, and I tried to reach out to him because I know that I heard that he was suing him, and he didn't respond to me to be.
Yeah, your money's gone.
Yeah. Okay.
If his house is gone, his assets are gone. He's got a pacemaker. Your money's gone.
Okay.
I'm sorry. This is good for everybody else. It's horrible for you, and I'm sorry to hear this. This is horrible. I've lost money as well. 39 months ago, somebody owed me $1 million and filed bankruptcy.
Right.
And I got screwed. I've been there. I know exactly how bad that felt. It was the day my daughter was born, I got the bankruptcy letter. The day I gained a $1 billion little child, I lost $1 million in cash.
I guess is the name of the game. You have some gains and so you have some losses here and there.
But when you're lending money, that money should have come right back to you. You should have you gave him permission in some document. You can't just take money from a real estate transaction and then roll it into another deal. That's not how it never legally can ever happen that way. Physically impossible for him to have taken that money from you from a real estate transaction. You gave him permission.
I didn't.
I will guarantee my right arm, there's a document somewhere that you signed without knowing it, that you gave him permission to take that money.
Nope. It was just in that deed of trust that we filed it through my self-directed IRA.
Okay, so how did they get rid of that lien that you have on that property? How did they get rid of that security that you had against that property? How did he get rid of that legally?
On what? The deed of trust? I don't know.
Okay, that's where I would go.
Still is in IRA. And I talked to my IRA and they said, well, you have to write a letter that this didn't perform and you lost money.
Nope. There's something that he did that he had you sign that released that money to him. There is absolutely something. It's physically impossible.
That's where I did not sign anything outside of that transaction. Like nothing. The only paper between me and him that I signed, it was that deed of trust.
Okay. I'm going to tell you, you're wrong about something. I don't know what it is, but either A, you signed something in the first deed of trust that says that he could dictate whatever happened to that money when it sold, or you signed something when the house sold that he could have control of that money. You signed something that gave him permission. And if you didn't, then why are you talking to me? Why aren't you talking to the title company or the closing attorney that handled the transaction?
Well, I didn't think about that.
Aren't they the ones that do the paperwork? And
yes,
guys, this is also why I always purchase a lender policy, an insurance policy for my lender. Every single time I pay for that out of my pocket. Anytime somebody's loaned money to me, I not only buy a title policy to protect the transaction, but I buy a lender policy to protect the lender. So what title company did you go through? What closing attorney did you go through?
I've got all that information and the emails and all that.
I would be on the phone with them tomorrow immediately and say, how did this happen?
Okay.
How is this even possible? How did this guy get to sell this note and take my $30,000 and roll it into some movie?
Right. Okay.
Guys, this is a great situation. I feel really, really bad that this happened to her, but are we now 1000% like sure why we only go through title companies?
We did go through a title company, but yeah, I don't know.
If you went through a title company, then
you just go.
What's the name of the title company?
It's in Chicago.
Okay.
Actually.
So here's what I want you to do. I want you to call the Chicago company and say, how did this guy get control of my assets after selling this house? It's physically, I'm telling you, God himself couldn't come down there and say, let me have that money. The title company would say, I don't care, God. It's physically impossible for you to do this. Even with your magic wand, you can't do anything. There's no physical way that this guy could take your money and take the ownership of this asset and basically roll it into another deal without your permission or him forging a document with your name on it.
Which I think that's probably what happened.
Okay, well then we could figure out, then that's the thing.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to contact the...
But there's no way he can forge the document either. You know why?
What?
Because every time, listen to this. This is how I know that there's no way you didn't give this guy permission. I'm not saying knowingly, but somewhere, somehow you gave him permission. When I receive money from a lender, it goes to a title company, and the title company sends out a mobile notary that verifies their identity and sits there and watches them sign everything. Okay. Then when I send money back to that lender, the title company requires that I verify the identity of the person receiving it with a physical mobile notary. The transaction cannot be completed. It's physically impossible for the transaction to be completed without those steps happening.
That's true.
So this guy conned you, and he committed a securities violation, and this is probably why he's lost everything.
Right.
But even then, hold on. Even then, how did he get your money released from the title company when he sold that note? He didn't go through a title. Here's the thing. Listen to me.
Okay.
Because I'm wrong. I'm right. You are wrong. I am sorry, but I am 1000% right. There's nothing you can say to prove otherwise.
Okay.
Somewhere you gave him permission. You used the title company when you purchased the note, but when you sold the note, did the title company reach out to you and say, where can we send them the funds?
No.
Okay. Then you didn't use a title company.
Is it Chicagoland agency that I have to call? I have their email and they have, all my email. Cool. That's good to know.
He stole your money, and something in your documents that you did not read states that he could do that.
Okay.
He couldn't have done it with a deed in lieu. He couldn't have done it with a deed in lieu. Because he doesn't have your signature. He doesn't have, if you were the person that was secured against the property, your company and your IRA was secured with a recorded deed in your name, they would have had to physically come to you and go, hey, we're selling this. We need you to pay. We need a payoff statement of where the money needs to be sent.
Actually, the deed of trust was loaning just the money. I don't think that, yeah.
Here's what I want you to do. Bring this title company into the Tuesday Zoom with me. I'll do the Zoom earlier on Tuesday. Bring them in here and let's figure out what happened.
Okay. All right. I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Get them on the call. Bring them into our Tuesday Zoom, and I want to go through this with them.
Okay.
And I'll give you a course of action. But somebody committed fraud here. It was either the guy or the title company.
Okay.
And do you have a title policy?
On that property? That property,
okay.
It was sold long time ago.
Bring it to Tuesday's Zoom, okay?
Okay. All right. I'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pace. Thank you.
So guys, do we have to continually tell you guys to never lend money to people that is not through a title company and make sure that everything is secured? Or is that like so solid in your guys' name or in your mind? All right, cool. Hey, who's going to Clever Summit, by the way? Damn, look at all these people. Wow, this is gonna be so dope. Wow. Wow. All right, guys, give me 1 minute. I've got 30 more minutes, but I want to go through a couple more things with you. Are you guys getting value? Have this been helpful? We had like 60 people bow out. We're at 770 people, which is pretty awesome. All right. I'll be back in 2 minutes. All right, guys, I've got two other types of lenders I want to quickly go through with you. Couple other things. Let's see here. Let's pull this up. All right, cool. I want to make sure it's already still up there. All right, so we already know what the shark is up to, right? Here's another type of lender right here. Transactional. Okay. This is a transactional lender right here. Okay. So they want chunks of money. Okay. What's cool about this is that you can be this person very quickly. A lot of people that use this method are doing the Morby method. Sometimes you just need to do a double close on a wholesale transaction, right? You're very in and out, right? So why I use this as a Gator, it doesn't mean anything negative. It just means that Gators don't have to live in the water. They're in and they're out. And so a Gator can jump into a transaction and out of a transaction literally in an hour. Transactional lenders are only funding on a single transaction very quickly. And what they do is sometimes you use their money for an hour, sometimes you use their money for 30 days, but most of the time you're using their money for less than 7 days, okay? So the Gator, I'm a Gator. I will do transactional lending. The way I got my first setup of transactional lending is I went out and got a line of credit. Like, it's kind of cool that you guys can go out and get a line of credit and then just be a transactional lender, right? Like one of my lenders, I found her, actually, this is a very interesting story. Her name is, let me pull her up. I might even call her. She's such a sweetheart. We pay her, her structure is very interesting. Her name is Rita Hansen. Okay. And I used to call her a gap lender, but she's really just a transactional lender. Okay. Let's see. Last time I got an email from her was January. Okay. Here we go. Rita Hansen. Okay. So Rita is amazing because here's what she does for me. Okay. So Rita will lend to me short term, right? And I do the same thing for a lot of people as well. But let's say that I have a line of credit. If you guys want to learn how to get a line of credit, let me know. I'll show you guys how to get a line of credit. You don't even have to have really that great a credit to get a line of credit. I could show you how to do it. But let's say that I have, actually I know exactly how much Rita has. Rita has $65,000 to her name, okay? So what she does is if I need a quick 20 grand or 30 grand or 15 grand or whatever, she will send her money, let's say $15,000 of that to title. Title will receive that money. We create a note and a deed of trust. We give her all the protection. And we usually will use her money sometimes 30 to 60 days at most. Usually we'll use her money just temporarily, like a couple of hours. And what we do is we'll pay her a chunk of money. It's not an interest rate. It's $2,500 on every transaction that she lends money on. And the average transaction is about 30 days with, I'd say, 20 grand. So let's do that math. If she makes 20K, that's actually like really crazy return. If she makes 20K or she makes $2,500 in 30 days on $20,000, that means she will get a 100. Ooh, that's a lot. That's over 100% return in that 1 month. On an annualized return, she'll get over 100% return because she's only lending for 30 days, right? So think about that. If she did that to me every month for a whole year, she would have made 30 grand, right? So $2,500 times 12. So she loans $20,000. We give it back to her a month later. She gets $2,500. So we send her $22,500. So $2,500 times 12, that's 30 grand. Her percentage, let's see, divide by 25,000. That's 120% return. So a Gator, a transactional lender, can receive a much higher rate of return because people are only needing their money for a short period of time. They're in, they're out. They're in, they're out. And because people don't want to, it's now the time of the day where everybody else and their mama is waking up. And so people are texting me. I apologize. So a transactional lender, these are transactional lenders. They're amazing. And I have a couple of transactional lenders. Credit is important too. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Does anybody want to learn how to become a transactional lender? I'll do like a 1 hour Zoom for you guys, and I don't have time for it, unfortunately. So I'll do like a 1 hour Zoom. Let's see. I got to look at my A&E calendar real quick to see where I have time and look at my calendar for the week. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. All right, my schedule. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll show you guys my A&E schedule. How about that? Here's my A&E schedule. Okay, so I'm off Friday because I have my mastermind on Friday. Jamil is speaking at my mastermind, so he's off on Friday. I am filming tomorrow. Tuesday. Should I do it Monday night or Tuesday morning? Probably Monday night after Wholesale Hotline. You guys want to do after Wholesale Hotline? That'll be late for a lot of people. It'll be 1 hour long. You guys, if we do, I'll do a 1 hour Zoom for free, just showing you guys how to become a transactional lender. Are you guys open to that? Okay. See, Wholesale Hotline gets over at 6:30. So I do a Zoom for 1 hour from 6:30 to 7:30, and I'll show you guys a little bit more about transactional lending. I only have 25 more minutes, and I got to go. Otherwise, here. Let me set up the Zoom. Oops. I'm going to call it Gator Lending. How about that? Gator Lending. It'll be tomorrow at 6:30 my time. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys will be East Coast, and you'll be coming into the Zoom at 9:30 at night. Is that okay for you guys? Okay, please make sure you save this Zoom link because I am not going to reshare this. I'm not going to email it to you. All you knuckleheads that don't even know how to use your emails and you have everything sitting in your outbox, or not your outbox, but in your inbox, please do not DM me and say I haven't gotten the Zoom link. And I'll say it's because the Zoom link is in the chat. You guys ready for the Zoom link? Okay, I'm going to post it right now, so please. There it is. That is tomorrow at what time, guys? Tomorrow at what time? 6:30 Arizona time. Every time I give you guys a time zone, it's going to be 6:30 Arizona time. Okay, it's right after Wholesale Hotline. Will it be recorded? No. Any of my free stuff I'm not recording for you guys. I give this to you guys for free. Not going to record it so you can manage your life. I'm very sorry. Okay. For a lot of you guys, you wish you lived in Hawaii. Very sorry, it's 9:30 p.m. Arizona or Eastern time. I apologize. So everybody got the link? Somebody's going to go, where's the link? Thank you, Kimberly. Appreciate that. Do you have lender insurance pace with Javier Sanchez? Let me chat with you for just a second. I'm going to do a little more screen share on this just for a second. And I'll finish these two personality traits. So a Gator, again, you guys can see how Gators get chunks of money rather than interest rate. They'll get chunks of money. I am a Gator. I will do transactional lending. I do it from a line of credit usually, or a lot of times I kind of broke down how I do it with Chad a little bit ago, if you guys listened to that. You can be this person quickly. Morby method is where you usually get these people, you'll use these people, or if you're doing a double close, a lot of times you'll do a wholesale transaction and you don't want your buyer or your seller to know how much money you're making. And so you'll need a transactional lender. People use this all the time. Now, a camel, this is the last personality type I'm going to tell you. A camel is a water animal. How is a camel a water animal? It's because the camel carries the water in its hump, which means it can wait for its return over a long period of time. It can absorb and drink the water over a long period of time. It doesn't mean that they need to receive their money every single month. Okay, these people, these lenders are typically doing multifamily deals or large funds, and they can receive anywhere between a 10 to 25% IRR. IRR stands for internal rate of return. That means my money has grown essentially 25% while my money's been tied up with you, okay? So usually they're getting equity in the deal and they're getting a preferred return, which means that any of the cash flow that comes in actually goes to the investor first before it goes to the person who put the deal together. They're usually in deals for 5 to 12 years. They get equity, which is where they get a bunch of value. But here's one of the biggest things and why people become camels. This is where people, like my multifamily investors, the people who invest in my multifamily deals, they are looking for this little tasty treat right here. They want depreciation, okay? So if you're a lender on these other deals, right? Let's say that you're a camel, let's say you're a gator, you're not getting depreciation. A shark sometimes will get depreciation. A swimmer, a dolphin, and a whale never get depreciation. They're just getting interest, okay? But with the camel, what you're getting is you actually get larger returns over a long period of time, okay? You're basically placing your money. It's sitting there for a longer period of time. You don't have to find the deal. You don't have to manage the deal. You don't have to sell the deal. You're just involved in a bigger chunk of money. This is syndications or people raising money through a fund. I actually took a screenshot of this yesterday. You guys will see this all the time. You know, let me pull this up. This is really, really cool. You'll see this on people's Instagram all the time. You'll see it on like Bigger Pockets, Brandon Turner's Bigger Pockets stuff. You'll see people constantly advertising for this. Okay. And this is really good. You guys will see you can advertise for these types of lenders if you have an actual fund. Okay. And a fund requires a securities attorney. It requires a PPM. So check this out. So you can see this guy sponsored this, right here. He sponsored this post on Instagram. I took this post. I actually screenshotted this yesterday afternoon. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny because this is going to be like really pertinent for tomorrow. So this person is saying, hey, we're going to give you a 20 to 25% targeted IRR. So they're not talking about like an interest rate, but you see they're talking about preferred returns, equity ownership, and bonus depreciation. Just what I told you. Invest in self-storage facilities, opportunity for accredited investors. Okay, so you'll find a lot of investors that are like, yo, I'm accredited. It means I have a certain net worth, okay? And these people, there's a lot of, I have my own fund, okay? I have my own fund we're doing multifamily with. And let's see. Yeah, there you go. Kyle says, I see these all of the time on Instagram and Facebook. Accredited investor means you have $1 million net worth or you make over 200, I think it's 250 now, $250,000 per year. Some of these deals will give you monthly income and some of them will give you monthly income and a big ass chunk at the end. Okay. Oh, there it is. Tom says $300,000 married. Awesome. What about getting the line of credit? So Gems, the line of credit, we're doing that tomorrow. I feel like Gems is, somebody paid Gems to tease me today. Gems, who paid you to tease me? Gems, how did you miss that? Oh, she's going back. Okay, well, she's going back and forth with her kids. So guys, right there, I'm going to teach you guys about Gator lending tomorrow in a longer specific Zoom. Okay. Equity-wise, what are returns? Ed Stifle, let me chat with you for just a second on that. Just so I can understand the question a little bit more. Ed, what was your question? I'm sorry.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
What up?
So as far as investors putting in, are they getting a certain equity stake as far as 50% or?
Yeah. So like for like a brand new operator that doesn't have a lot of deals under their belt, they're typically giving 80% of their equity away to investors. Okay. But as the operator, the person who finds the deal, manages the deal, all that kind of stuff gets more and more pronounced. You get closer to like a 50-50 split because you have a trusted known operator that actually at the end of the day, that 50-50 split makes you more money than an 80-20 split with somebody who's not as seasoned. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So if you go with like a brand new operator, they're usually going to give 80% away. So let's look at like a $20 million deal. Okay. So if I'm going to do a $20 million acquisition, I'm going to buy, let's say, a bunch of apartments. Okay. Like let's say it's 400 unit apartment building in Texas, right? And it's essentially, let's say it's $40 million, okay, to purchase that. That means each one of these units is $100,000 each, right? Well, what they do is they go, well, you know, we're going to get a loan for 80% of this from there's a lot of lenders like Marcus Millichap. That's a really big lender that will lend on these types of deals. Their minimum loan amount is $1 million. So they're going to bring 80% of that to the deal, right? So 80% of that would be
raising $8 million essentially.
Yep. So they're only raising 8 million. They're not going to raise 40 million. Okay. So whoever are the $8 million that they raise, what happens is the $8 million, let's say it's 100 different people. That means that these 100 different people are splitting up 50% ownership of that 400 unit complex. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. So these people are typically, you know, credit investors. They want larger chunks. They don't really care. But the main thing that I see people really care about is depreciation. Like, I want to be an owner, but I also want to get tax incentives by being an owner. And you can't really get those tax incentives by being a lender. In fact, being a lender is the opposite. Like, you're going to receive income as that lender on a simple interest transaction, like a fix and flip or whatever else. And that's taxable income. And you have no tax benefits to doing that, right? And when you're going and you're a camel and you're like, look, I'm okay waiting for my large chunks of money. I just want to be involved in cool projects with cool people. Those camels actually get a portion of the equity. And when they get a portion of that equity, they get the pro rata portion of depreciation as well. And so it's why a lot of my lenders who like will start it out as swimmers, you know, like I've got Paula Finlayson. I just paid her back like $126,000 the other day. I paid Paula back and I paid a couple other people back, and they're all like, hey, I want to be involved in your multifamily stuff because I want to be a part equity owner and I want to get depreciation and I want to get, you know, the appreciation, because that's the other thing you get as well on a multifamily fund. When the value of the property goes up, guess what happens? When the loan gets paid down, guess what happens? You're 50% equity in that whole entire deal across the board. Every benefit that comes from that property, you get your pro rata share of that benefit: appreciation, loan pay down, depreciation, cash flow, exit price, right? All of those types of things, you get a portion of every single one of those. Whereas with simple interest, all you get is an interest payment. Now, why would somebody, you know, with all those benefits of multifamily, why would somebody stay on simple interest? Well, because they don't have to wait as long for the return, and they have a guarantee. No matter what the project makes money or not, it doesn't matter. There's projects that I have broken even on fix and flips. Guess what? My lender got paid every single time. So in a multifamily fund, let's say the thing burns down, the insurance company doesn't want to cover it. Oh, what up, Eric? How you doing? Let's say that am I still live on Instagram or no? Oh, I am. Okay. Can you hear me? Oh, and I'm sitting there yelling the whole time. Okay. So let's say that I am sitting there and I'm in a multifamily fund and the thing burns down and the insurance company doesn't want to cover the multifamily fund. Guess what happens? I lost my money, right? If I'm in a simple interest deal with a fix and flipper and he loses money, it doesn't matter. I receive my payments along the way. I couldn't care any less if he lost money, right? So it just depends on who you want to be. And at the end of the day, what kind of lender you want to be or whatever. Now, the challenge is most people look at private money lenders as you're all one person. The reason why I broke it down into personality types and these like really cool figures is because you actually can see that when you're going to run into a private money lender, you want to decipher which category they're going to ultimately be in so that you can move them or sway them one way or the other. Okay.
I love that because that's the expectation as well.
Yeah. And actually, if you guys go in, all SubTo students, if you go into the SubTo vault, I have like 5 or 7, something like that, recorded Zooms with private money lenders. So when they came into the Zoom, my first thing was, let me tell you about the categories of lenders. And I describe the categories of lenders to those potential private money lenders. And I go, what category do you feel like you fit in? That's literally how I raise money. I just show them the categories of where where people typically put their money, what the return is, whether pluses and minuses, and they go, oh my gosh, this is so simple. I want to be a swimmer, or I want to be a dolphin, or I want to be a shark. Now, I've never actually used these terms before until today. I made this all up this morning. But the terms I use are bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, bucket 4, and that's not as cool. I actually like the swimmer. I like the dolphin. I like the gator. I like the camel, all that kind of stuff. I just made that all up today. But they always pick one every single time. You give them an option. They go, yeah, I'm a swimmer. I just want to learn. I want to see what you're doing and how you're raising capital, and then I want to do deals with you. And then I'll move on my own type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So there are people. What's that?
This is kind of where I'm at right now, where I can fund a couple of my own deals, fix and flips and rentals and whatnot, but getting to that next level to take on, you have more opportunities come across than you can fund. So you need to have that link right directly to private money. Yeah.
And there's a really interesting saying that Tim Brotz just told me. Tim Brotz is an operator, right? So Tim Brotz says a seller is a buyer is a lender. And it's so true. Like everybody I run into is not only a buyer, they're a seller, they're also a lender. Like everybody I reach out to and talk to has money or has access to deals or is looking for a deal. And so we're always just kind of navigating and hanging out and essentially just trading Pokemon cards all day long. Like, oh, I don't need this card right now. Here, you use it because it's better use to you. Right. And that's why your network is your net worth. Like people don't understand, like people think that your network is your net worth is all mindset. It is a big part of mindset, but it's also what my resources are also your resources, right? Like if Jamil calls me and says, I have the need for X, Y, and Z, do you think Jamil can just tap into my Rolodex anytime he wants? The answer is yes. So your net worth is like my network is also Jamil's network. And so we expand and compound and compound. So Ed, like as you go and even though you're funding a lot of your own deals, which do you know how many of my deals I fund on my own?
Probably zero at this point.
Zero. Because Ed, do you think that it's smart for me if I can put somebody into a fix and flip and pay them 10 or 12%, and then I put my money into something else that makes me 20 or 40%, do you think it would be smart and responsible for me to put my money into my own deals?
No, of course not. And that's where I'm at. I'm kind of cherry picking the big deals that I put my money into
right.
to make big returns. And now it's like, I have people all the time saying, hey, I have 10, 20 grand. I want to start getting into real estate. What can I do? And for me, it's kind of like, well, I think you need to raise a little more so you can really get into it.
Yeah.
But now after risking, 10 or 20 grand can go a long way if you're using it for earnest money or fixed flip or a furniture to furnish an Airbnb, something like that. So where, what would you say to those people that say, hey, I have 10,000, I have 20,000, I really want to do real estate investing? They see what I'm doing as far as fix and flips.
What I would do, let's say you have people that have like really small amounts of money, like 10,000, 15,000, whatever. What I would do is I would go create an LLC and you guys all become partners. Okay. You're partners in an LLC and then you guys own a business and that business's job is to lend money to one of your projects.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. How would you divvy that up essentially?
Pro rata. So whatever they put in, they put it is their pro rata share.
Right. Same way you do with multifamily.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I have one of the questions I have my hand raised for. I'm glad that you brought the, got me into this because this kind of answered a whole bunch of other stuff. But as far as like my investor loan, Finance of America, any of these big lenders that'll lend fix and flip rehab loans, they always want to see liquidity. So I can raise $150,000 privately for a down payment plus closing costs plus this, and then they want to see, okay, well, I want to make sure you're $100,000 liquid.
Yeah, I raise money for my liquidity too.
So how does that work? Essentially, if you're raising money for liquidity, is that going straight or you do that all through closing? It gets reimbursed.
I do it all through closing. We're doing another Morby method Zoom this coming week or the next week. I have a Morby method deal closing with Heather Witzig, one of our students, where I'm actually one of her Gator lenders. I'm coming in just as a transactional lender and getting a chunk. And we're going to break that whole entire deal down and I'll show you how we did it with the liquidity and all that kind of stuff.
Love it. Yeah, that's the main thing going up against. I get these big, spreads of a deal that I can get on, but then it comes down to liquidity, where I'm using my liquid, almost rolling it into each single deal. I'm liquid. They want 80,000 liquid on each deal, I'm showing the same 80,000 every time, because everything's so tied up.
Yeah. Primal Eskimo says, how do you guys split your time between your business? Like doing work that's required, dieting, working out, etc. Bro, there is no such thing as splitting your time. You do it all simultaneously. I'm currently dieting and working. Like, ask yourself this question. How can you do two things at the same time going forward? I call it the law of duality. Do you live the law of duality? There's never a time in my life that I'm only doing one thing at a time.
Intermittent fast until you get a contract signed.
There you go. Yeah, some people would die, dog.
Sure. Hey, thanks a lot for your time, man. I'll let you wrap this up.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Okay, so guys, we're going to do a Gator lending Zoom tomorrow just for 1 hour. I'm going to be very quick. Okay. Can we go over the paperwork? Denise, we'll go over the paperwork with all the SubTo students. Okay. I showed you guys some of the paperwork already. But this is what happens on you guys see why YouTube is total trash. Like, how can you learn anything in a 12-minute video? Was there ever a moment in a 4-hour window that I didn't give you guys the highest level of value? And you guys are trying to learn on YouTube. Like, it ain't happening. Sorry. You're getting like tidbits of information that's out of order. The reality is you'll need, like, what I'll do for all the students, all the SubTo students, what I'll do is we'll do another 4-hour Zoom because I'm rebuilding the private lending catalog of all the stuff that we're doing. I'll do the next 4 hours where it's just the paperwork, and I'll bring in Danielle Mazzi and some other people and my attorney. We'll go through and we'll show you guys all the paperwork and how easy it is. And I'll actually bring in a couple of my private lenders on that one. Okay. Angie, you're coming to the party. So guys, a couple of things I want you guys to do tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Arizona time. Guys, everybody have the Zoom link for tomorrow's Gator lending Zoom? Everybody has it? Somebody's going to go, where is it? Okay. Thank you guys for putting the Zoom link in the side chat. Make sure everybody has it. Then, second thing is I want you guys to know if you're a SubTo student and you're in Arizona or close to Arizona, we're having a party at my house on Thursday night, tacos, drinks, party, all that kind of stuff. Then, Clever Summit. Who's coming to Clever Summit? I know a lot of people are. Hold on a second. Let me make sure What's up, Eric? How you doing, dog? How's your day? You ready to freaking do some work or what? Hey, come stand over here to my right and say hi to everybody. Oh, you are? Which one? Which link? The Gator Zoom. Oh, the Gator Zoom. Okay, cool. Oh, got it. Okay, guys, there's a link right there in the side chat. That's the Clever Summit Zoom or Clever Summit. Digital tickets are the only ones. Like, you guys see how many people are going to this event. It is legitimately the biggest event. Ooh, look at this thing's out of focus. Looks good here. What the heck? I lost it. Can you text it to me? So I can put it in Instagram. Which one? The Zoom? Yeah. Oh yeah, I can text to you. I can do that for you, dog. Anything for you, man. What'd you have for lunch? Or did you not already eat lunch? It's because you came all the way over here so you could get freaking knuckle sandwiches or something. You want to go over there? Let's go. Okay, hold on a second. Let me send it to you. You're giving this to people on the Instagram live right now that we're doing? I can't believe that I didn't know I was live on this the whole time. I actually thought the audio would be dead. Let me shorten this down for you. Have people been making comments like, wow, Pace is an asshole? Or people thought it was funny when you took a bathroom break. Oh yeah, I took a piss. Yeah. Diaz said like a racehorse. That's right, dog. Okay, cool. There it is right there. All right, so we're doing the Gator lending tomorrow at 6:30 to 7:30. Anybody's invited. It's only an hour long. I'll be very quick. I'll show you guys how to get your own line of credit and how you can be. Actually, what I'll do is I'll do 2 or 3 case studies of deals that I'm in the middle of right now that I'm doing Gator lending on. And then I'll also show you guys how you can go get a line of credit and do the same thing. Everybody has my email. If you guys want to be a swimmer with me and my team, you guys can send me an email. Let's see, what else? What else am I missing? What else do you guys need? Yeah, we're done. This is 4 hours, bro. I just did 4 hours on a Sunday morning for you guys. Oh, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll do the $10,000 on Monday night. That's what I'll do. Sorry, it's 11. I should have done that earlier. I'll do the $10,000 on Monday night. That's what I'm going to do. Sorry, guys. I'm out. Hopefully this was valuable. You guys had a good day, and I'll see you later.